Hello, hello everyone. AB is under the weather, man. This is one thing I hate about spring. I used to love it as a kid, but somehow as I grew up, Cincinnati will do that to you. Um, the allergies would beat the living hell out of me. So as you can see, I had literally almost zero sleep all night. Zero sleep. All I did was getting up, staying up, not being able to breathe much. Allergies just killing me. How's everybody doing? Are you guys, what are you guys executing today? Did any of you guys in here enjoy any of these two pump and dump stocks, the pharmaceutical IPOs that dropped today? Whew. I know a lot of people that were really happy, you know, given that it was past 2 3 hard tough weeks. People made so much money on those IPOs today, and it's the easiest to. What happened to my app over here? So as I can see right here, AMC was setting up for a great reversal um, this morning, obviously, and unfortunately, there was enough resistance to stop it. It was moving really strong, mighty strong too. It was good buying, good amount of buying, a lot of buying. Um, but unfortunately, somebody wants nothing to do with that $17 strike price. That $17 strike price is mighty scary for them. I'm by the way, I'm looking at the charts and I'm executing some trades. That's why I'm, you know, looking to the left. Yeah, those two pump and dump IPOs that popped up this morning, those were the best. Gotta love IPOs. KJW, how are you doing? Damn, thought for sure the most was today. Um, I mean, the run up it looked inviting. It looked mighty enough. Sorry, I don't even know why I still have this on like that. See, the allergies affect your way you think too. Um, it looked like it, but it was not going to be. I mean, I wanted it to be KJW more than anyone else, but that was not going to be the case. Um, we got some more playing to play with. KJW. I had a feeling you were sarcastic. um, See, the beauty of this is that leading up to next week, see what's happening today is um, you know, this is them trying to make sure that we within, like, this is checking out the theory we're talking about. This is going to make sure they're trying to make sure that we don't touch the $17 strike price by Friday. In fact, let's take it up a notch, guys. Let's see what the moves are. What is the moves? Yeah, the next 2 months, as we stated, you're right, KGW, are going to be extremely volatile. Um, in fact, this is personally why AB says, again, this is just personal opinion, um, and it's more likely to be wrong than to be right. But if it's not, if I don't see something happen within within July, I mean, I've been saying it for a while now. I'm preparing for next year, and I will prepare my my plan as well to go through with it. In fact, it'll be quite on. I'll be quite honest. I'm starting some new project. It's within the trade world, and if it works, um, you guys are gonna learn a lot of things. You guys are gonna learn a lot of cool things, um, and we're gonna have so many different sources of income. Of course, AMC and GME, but we know until our babies do what they gotta do, you know, bills don't stop. Um, how are you doing today, my friend, Steph? Steph F. If every time I see your name, it reminds me of Steph Curry. You shoot like him too? Okay, what do we have here? No offense to you, of course, Steph. Uh, you know, Curry would dream to be you. Um, and right here, hell no. I'm doing, but thanks for asking though. I'm doing great. Hopefully you're doing great. Like hell no. What is the short interest here? Or sorry, what's the option interest here? Ah, my trading app decided to do a stupid update right before I get on the stream. And now I don't see the important things that I need. Hold on. Yeah. With that update, it resetted all the settings. That sucks. Bit size, ask. Lisa, how are you doing? Well, so here's the thing. I was invited to it like really late last night, and of course, I wanted to show up. And the same thing I think with Cam. Unfortunately, I just got a message from Jeffrey, literally just as you asked, telling me that our friend is sick, so he's not feeling well. So hopefully, best wishes for Cam, and hopefully he gets better. Um, but here the show is going on. So much love to Cam. Hopefully everything gets better for him. Hopefully he feels better. I mean, I know he probably just came back from the mountains, body's resetting, and you know all sorts of stuff. Um, but yeah, Steph, you love the food, huh? Um, well, thank you. I wish you guys were all around to share some of the yummy food. I will share tonight's as well. I should have been sharing all months long, but it is what it is. I didn't want to make you guys more, hungry all the time. But most of the times, like right now, you guys are all eating and drinking. I'm fasting, so it equals out at night. See, AB got some badness to him. Um, Gloria, how are you, sis? How are you doing? Come on, show me my stats. I hate this new update. What are you doing? You guys want to see AB get a tantrum? You don't. See, some of the wolves are in here. Um, okay, forget this now. I fix all my indicators later, and we'll be good up and running at some other time. Now let's look back at this. Yeah, the most important part is the $17 strike price for this Friday, guys. And $17 is where they don't want us to obviously close. And there is like already over 100,000 contracts that are ending out of the money. Um, and yes, of course, we don't know who is losing that, but you should always think like some people can come and tell me, hey, what are the odds that is these hedge funds that are doing this, and it's like, these guys are already losing on shorting and holding bad positions. They're not in position to play, and they don't, that's not how you play it. That's catastrophic losses, like 100 plus thousand. So you can rest assured that majority of these contracts are all retail, if not all, are all retail, you know, contracts or calls or puts. Um, and the market maker dances and does his dance around it when he sees them. Because again, he sees where all the max pain, and he sees where all the crazy numbers are and where he could get screwed the most. And most of the times they already, like, it's not like they just got in this yesterday or today, or they don't look at it every day, just open up in the morning and say, "What we got here under the hood." No, these guys, like, they know the numbers as they're going, and as they're going algorithmically with the contract. I mean, that's why you have so many things that go into these options, like the price. They in a way push you, obviously, to buy something. If it's already in the money, it's going to be mighty expensive. So the odds are, you know, you're going to be like, do I want to pay $2,000 for a super in the money contract? But even then, there's obviously still a risk, because the break even is always higher than what the price ends up at, or the strike price you purchased the contract at. And here's the crazier part: is even if the price closes over the strike price, so let's say, like, you bought your just example here for hypothetically speaking, guys, and I know some people need to know this, so we're gonna bring it up. So, like, let's say the $13 strike price on AMC, you feel like, okay, I'm gonna get those calls. Forget what your strategy is and what all that. But let's say you just want to go in the money and you feel like you want to be safe. Well, for those that don't know most of options and how they work, when you get the $13 strike option, one, it's going to be extremely expensive. Two, even at that price, your break even is not going to be $13. Your break even is going to be, most likely, if you buy it at this level, um, somewhere around, for Friday, you're looking at 1680, 1650, because right now the price is around 1580, 1581. So even if the price closes at $13 or $14, what happens at that point is you will have the option to exercise your option, but you automatically are going to lose your premium. So if it cost you $1,200, you just lost that $1,200. And to buy that contract, basically to exercise, you would have to pay the equivalence of 100 shares times 13, because that was your strike price. You're basically buying the option, and you want to exercise your option on basically buying 100 shares for $13 a stock. Sometimes, like, and this is rare, this is rare. Sometimes, like, if you think of it, like, some people say, okay, I want to do that because I don't think the price will ever go down there. But if you factor in the price from 1570 to 13, um, you really wouldn't have had to do all that. You could have easily waited for a better price point if that was your strategy all along, and you would have saved yourself your premium, and you wouldn't have lost that, whatever, $1,500 or $2,200 on a premium for a super in the money call options on, for example, on that play. So, and the crazier part is that even if you wanted to exercise, like I said, so 100 times 13, you're talking about $1,300. Um, and now you have to have that already in your account in order for you to press the exercise and get it. So that is something that you also have to pay on top of the premium you originally paid to buy the contract. So when you calculate it all out and you say, okay, well, I really did lose here on my premium. You see how it works? The only time that it really hurts them, and this is what we did back in the GME run up, was when we were getting to the ludicrous numbers and we had options on the chain. What we were doing is we were cashing out to get some money, but in the same time, what we were doing is we were also exercising some of our calls, because when we got to the $200 and $300 range, guess what the what was the options that we already purchased a long time ago were like to exercise. The options were around the $50, $40, $30. So so with the money we were cashing out from some options, we were going ahead and we were exercising the rest on some other, because we already bought that option for super cheap, the premium on it. And at the same time, we are paying only $30 per stock, versus basic what we're doing there. When you exercise, you are forcing the market maker to go ahead, or basically the person that wrote those calls that you purchased, you're forcing them to go ahead and buy 100 shares per call. So for example, let's say I had 100 calls, and I'm pretty sure you guys got what my idea, what the point was. But just to even break it down for more people, on even on a simpler level, if I had 10 calls, not 100, which was just it'd be easier. If I had 10 calls and I purchased each one at like at the price of $30 or $20, let's just put $20. And those 10 each at $20, they didn't really cost me much, you know? So 10 times 20, we got 200 bucks. So my cost was about $200. Now, when the run up started happening, when we were already in the 100 and the $200 range, I'm selling these contracts because I'm like, my estimates are already in the hundreds of thousands as far as in these contracts. So I'm already selling some of these contracts. Let's say I sold half, and the other half I exercised. And that creates a more nasty gamma. And that's what happened that day, that time. That's what majority of the people did. And that's what caused GME to go to up to the $400 range. The gamma was more nasty because people were able to also exercise. Because think of it, if I bought and my exercise price was, let's say, the $30 strike price, and we're already in the hundreds, and I exercise, I am forcing the hedge fund or the person that wrote those calls to go ahead and buy 100 times 5, that's 500 shares, and I'm paying only $30 per. However, look where the price is. You get what I'm saying? And when we're at those prices up there, now as there's more buying that is forced, and the price starts even going wilder. And then I can go ahead and even get those shares that I exercised and say, F you, here you go. Don't ever try to screw us retail over. And this is what I look forward and hope will be the case for obviously AMC when the time comes. Let me read some of these comments. Hopefully that made sense. Did that make any sense, guys? Bum, 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 bum. Don't know if there is a wolf pack any longer. Why is that, Lisa? Seth, SPY puts in the money open today. Um, yeah. I didn't even, do you know what's crazy today? Is I barely glanced at the SPY stuff. How did that go? I know that when I was in the morning, again, I'm dealing with all this allergy crap. It's killing me, man. Plus the fasting, so I'm not even sleeping at all. Um, Let me see. I remember the SPY was like moving rather normal. Uh, like I said, the whole market was trying to stage a reversal, but then it, came back down again. These are all like bull traps. They're trying to get more and more and more people to jump into the options, seeing something like bullish in the morning, so they can jump in, and the next thing you know, they pull the carpet. We are all still here. Cam is not feeling well. We will be back. We're not going anywhere. Right on, Gloria. Kim A. Hi, how are you doing? Um, Focus at the gym chest day. Yeah, get those pecs up. Good luck. Gloria's saying she's on that server, so email Christopher. Dana, how are you, my friend? Kim A. Allergy bad everywhere. I've tried all medicines, nothing works. Citrazine is the only thing that it comes close to being good for me, but it's again, it's a pill you have to take every day. It's very tiny, but I've been doing it for the last better part of the last 5 years of my life. So I haven't lost a kidney yet, and or a liver, and I'm all good. Hopefully, stays that way. Um, let's see. I'm looking at and look like the spy is getting a very nice green candle right here. Hopefully, it closes out big. It's filling up right now. Bam, 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 bam. Steph is saying we're all still here too. Yeah, see. And Dana saying, just walked into the doctor's appointment. Hopefully, you please when you come out, update us, okay? If we're still around, update us. Hopefully you feel better, my friend. Good luck at the appointment, and thanks for stopping by. We will definitely hold the floor for you. Break is over, my friends. Got to get back at it. Have a great one. Thanks for stopping by, Steph. Charles B. Hello, my friend. How are you doing, my wolf brethren? Kim, hope you feel better. Yep. Hope you feel better. Jen, how are you? What's up? What's up? How are you doing? Charlie B. AB, can you help me understand definition of a hedge fund? Does this include banks, brokers, and um, CFPs? Okay, so it's not a bank. Hedge funds are basically a like they're basically a company on their own, and what they do is they hedge people's money basically, or other people's assets. And what they do is they get money. A lot of people invest with them, and they're supposed to be the smart people in the business and the smart money. That's who they call themselves, the smart money, and they basically hedge. That's what they do. They just hedge and they trade, and they have a lot of you know, capital mostly is not theirs most of the times, but they are investors for people, but professional investors, in other words. So it's like you, but in a building, and they basically get you imagine you with a license, you go get licensed as financial advisor. They have a bunch of those. They have a bunch of financial analysts. They have a bunch of employees. So imagine basically you and you have like depending on the size of the hedge fund, 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 people working under you, and you guys threw out your name and your ethics and what you do and your popularity. You grow, and people come in and give you their money. Most likely, there's always going to be people that are really rich, and most of the times they approach uh, yeah, they could be financial planners, but here's the thing, because sometimes what they do is they get people on the inside to stick up to them. So what happens is like they approach, and a lot of people don't know this, but they approach ETF and index fund preparers, especially ETF. Um, you know, People who set up the ETF. Every ETF has a person, and this is why in a way I actually prefer index funds more. But ETFs, there's always a person that decides what happens with the money or what that ETF does. Normally, it invests in, in certain things. So like, it'll be in a certain index fund, but ETFs, each one, a person has like there's always a person on top that will decide where the investments goes. So what happens is most of these hedge funds they approach these people, and you hear a lot of stories where people get caught on, you know, getting bribed, and getting so they could take people's ETFs like pension funds that go to like ETFs, and then those ETFs, the person who's in charge, they basically make the investment, decide who they go with and who they put it with which hedge fund, and those particular people are on the take. Because most people they don't control their ETF. So like once it's in there, it's in there. The person who's in charge of that ETF among that board is the person that decides where it goes, and they could easily go ahead and push it to um, you know, they can easily push it to the people that are paying them. And that's why a lot of corruption have happened also in that industry. So hopefully that explains it. But that's um, ultimately what an idea of a hedge fund is, what they do as well, and how far would they go to to accrue to get what they need. I'm hearing possibility that hedge funds could stuff pension funds and well, I'm sorry. Did I overskip something? Yeah, Mickey J. Mickey J the GOAT. How are you doing, brother? Um, back to Charlie B. Am I hearing possibility that hedge funds could stuff pension funds with synthetic shares and Chinese junk? It's a possibility. You're hearing this correctly. I'm not, obviously, I can't say yes or no. No one can, but it's a possibility. This is why I gave you the explanation that I gave you. Um, I know you asked what is the hedge fund, but I gave you a little extra, but that that also goes into that because I wanted to give you an idea on how they, because the first thing that comes to mind after you learn what something is, or when you finalize what something is, well, how did they get their business, right? Well, that's the most important thing. And normally that's how they do it. If they don't really necessarily need a person who walks in person, they just approach certain people that hold other people's assets. And that those people control other people's money basically. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it's all about. So pum, 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 pum. Let's look at again what's happening. You got it, brother. So just like imagine it like the hedge fund is like a pool, and they dump in water, people dump in water in it. um Majority of the times it's besides the talk we just had about the ETFs and the index funds, but um majority of it also sometimes is people come in, institutional, or sometimes most of the times companies, or even rich wealthy individuals, and they just dump their money in that pool, and that particular hedge fund goes ahead and works with that cash. It's basically capital. Right now, think of yourselves, guys. If somebody comes and pumps your portfolio with $1 million or $2 million, you know that you could easily go ahead and become a like a very successful day trader if you know what you're doing. You could easily make that into 10 million um, within less than, possibly I would say, within less than 2 months, 3 months. If you know what you're doing, yeah, you could easily make that within less than 3 months. Have you read the news about the changes in the thrift savings plan? I haven't seen. No, I haven't seen it. You have a link, brother, that I can or we can follow. What is this? Why am I still playing Frank Sinatra in the background? Gotta love Frank Sinatra. One of the craziest songs that I don't have a voice for karaoke, obviously, but I still have the heart for it. So on one night, unforgettable night, I was with friends, and they forced me to go up and try to, karaoke, and I was put on the spot. So the only song that I always jump to or lead to is Bill Withers, "No, Ain't No Sunshine." So yeah, FYI. Okay, let's see. It's moving. Oh, this pie is taking a little bit of a dump now. See, wow, three big, well, not big, but three red candles. Not a good sign. Is it exactly almost four? Oh yeah, 10 minutes before. You want to have a crazy end. And bbig 1%. AMC is, kind of held within that 1580, 1579. I think we're going to close at that 15, 79, 1580 probably by the end. I don't see anything special happening. Hold on, Mickey J, are you talking about the the TCP or the TPS? Is that what you is that what you're talking about? Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. No, I know, yeah, I know that stuff. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I was actually updating some people in there, and tell me, Mickey J, is your dad? Is he like very hands on with it? I'll tell you where I'm going on with this. And okay, well, I'll tell you. Well, I can't obviously tell you what he can and what he can't do, or even insinuate to you what you should or what you should think about. But I can give you like what options are out there, and obviously you got to make you do your own thing. I just tell you what's out there, and you decide what's best for you. Um, he lets them manage it. Okay. Um, so it seems what I want to know, do you know the difference between a TSP and a TSP C fund, Mickey, or anyone in the chat, but for that matter? And with that answer as well, because most people apparently say that you can't those like people with TSP accounts cannot invest in individual stock, like random stock. They just gotta invest in certain things. Okay. So the TSP and C fund, basically allows people or certain individuals to actually invest in certain individual stocks like Apple, uh, you know, not just bonds or government securities. So that's another thing that people are not actually familiar with. So I was updating people in the boss's chat yesterday on that. Um, our friend Peter, that is always in here as well, Peter Jefferson, was in there, and he actually caught wind to that. And here's the thing: there was a timeline. I forget the dates. It was the May 25th to the first week of June, I believe. Yeah, I'm almost certain of that. And here's what can be done. There's two things. First, this is all terrible if the theory does check out that there is a squeeze in that time frame. Okay, let me reiterate that. Repeat this. If there is a squeeze or a fall, a sharp crash on the market, so either way, whether to the upside or to the downside, um, in that same time frame, then that would check to be a problem. If there is not, then it's all water under the bridge. Okay, you have to remember that. I don't want see sometimes people do things like this is the mindset of FOMO because they FOMO about something thinking it's the only outcome. So remember, guys, there's a more possibility, and I'm not trying to throw any cold water on any hope here. God knows I want to be out of this first. Been in here since September of 2020, and I can't wait to be done. Um, there's a more likely chance for it not to be true or to be the case than for it to be the case. But I will always point out the good things, like what happens right after that. You're talking about GameStop dividend. GameStop dividend, yes, it is a MOAS starter. AB will tell you that. The only way that that can be a MOAS starter, and it's not just only for GME, because if GME breaks through, we're breaking through. I've always said this. I've always said in my previous chats as well, in the live chats, that it all is going to come down to when they will apply these things. Most of the times they will say within the beginning of the new quarter. Um, the last thing I want to see is them saying with the beginning of the new year. So this is why I said previously that if we don't see it by July, then I'm preparing for 2023 and my campaign will be going. But again, there's a lot of things that needs to happen because you're talking about at the end of this year, in September, toward the end of this year, you have elections, mid elections, and there's so many things that are happening that could also contradict the idea of it not happening, like in June or the end of May, early June. But again, I just had to put that idea out there is that if that does not happen, then all this fear is for nothing. It's your father's account will be cool and they'll be fine. Um, Now, as far as what can you do, honestly, I don't know unless you have to call and try to get try to get them to get you to switch where they're being invested because I like you said when I asked you, you said that they are investing for him. He's not even controlling where they're putting the stuff. um, Maybe that, and then you could your dad can go ahead and switch it to the places of his liking. But honestly, I don't know much when it gets to that point. I just know that that's going to be the fact, and that's what's going to be happening toward the end of the week, last week of May, first week of June. Um, One thing I also do know is, and I'll tell you this, and here's one thing that also makes me feel like that's not time frame for the squeeze, because unfortunately, with saying this, um, I don't see this squeeze only taking 1 week. You know, this is just how it is because this thing is only for a whole week, and I don't see the squeeze taking a week. I see it taking longer because I see suspensions happening. I see halts. Um, you know, Last time it did this in June of 2021, it took more than a week, and that wasn't even a squeeze. It was just a run up. a gamma. So when you put the things together, I don't know. I'm inclined to believe that it's not. And I'm not throwing FUD, of course. I'm just being realistic, guys. And you know what AB does, right? He's always real. So I would rather be surprised with a cool surprise and be wrong about it, and yes, be like surprised with it, than to expect it and for it not to happen, because that's a nastier pill to swallow. you know. So if what I just said makes sense, then you should be fine. You should be cool. Just relax. AB, what's up, Tiny? Tiny's like, just so you know, I've been listening to you while playing Elden Ring. Well, I appreciate it. I'm very honored, Tiny. Thank you so much. I just need to always know that you're cool and everything is okay. One of the originals. That's who you are. And it's literally like I can always expose Tiny's name and identity. Every life too. Oh well. Oh wow. I'm very, very. Again, I'm very honored. Thank you. You blessed me with your presence. How's playing going on? And it is 4 o'clock. Yep. What do you know? We close at 1585 today, guys. And the cool part about this is that, like, again, guys, my biggest thing is going to be May 4th, May 3rd to May 4th, but specifically May 4th, because that's when it gets announced, the feds announce. And through what they announce, I'm going to know if we're can kicking, uh, you know, down the road, if they're kicking the can down the road way further than a June and a July timeframe, or not. And you could see sometimes, like, again, from the writing on the wall, they don't have to say it to you because obviously they will not come out and say it to you the way that you want to hear it. But what I will be waiting for is two things. One, will they really start unloading assets? Yes, because if they do, that is something that is extremely, extremely bullish for the theory of the end of May, early June, time frame. If it does not happen, then I do not see no end of May, first beginning of June time frame. Again, um, they're not going to be pressured, and I understand the executive order, but that at that final day, guys, could be postponed. Again, kicking the can down the road, and if they also don't hike the rates, then I also think on May 4th, then I see kicking that the can count down the road as well. Um, we're gonna see. We shall see. That's how I can gauge the market, guys. And if we go back to what we were, if you remember a while ago when I was saying, how do we know that we're having the real run up? It's not like a bull trap. Um, you know, if we're at these levels right here, 15, $16, moving up 10% might seem like, wow, like 10%, because you're used to seeing 9.90, like not even 1% or 2%, or negatives, a bunch of negatives. So when you see a 5 or 7 or 8 or 10%, you're like, you get it's just, but in human nature, you're gonna be like, wow, this is great. Yes, look at this, great move today, great movement. But the truth be told, guys, is that's not bullish enough to say that it's indeed the time for the run up. I've always said we need at least one giant move day, like a 60, 70, percent day, and that will include a lot of halts, I know. Or if it's broken up into two, then I would want to see two 30% plus sessions. And some of the OGs in here have heard me say that before. And again, the reason why I say this is because at that pace, two straight sessions, then there will be no option controlling. 5-10% up, I always worry because I look at the price and I put my hand on my heart. Why? Because I see market maker written all over it, that 10%. Just easy as that, like as simple as that. But when you see 230 plus percent, and again, this is AB's opinion, everybody probably have different, obviously, opinion on it, no matter. But this is just from my time in the market. I come up with that with those two numbers, as in like back to back 230% or at least 160, 70, perhaps 80% move to the upside. If it's just one day, then yeah, that can confirm to me that we are in squeeze mode. And the reason why it's not going to come back down the next day is because obviously somebody, if for it to move that high, somebody have covered. One person or two people have covered. And when that that happens, there's no way that the market maker can control the price back down that far in one trading session, or by the end of the week, so that they can get all those contracts out of the money that all became in the money, everything, which will inevitably also by the end of the week create a gamma squeeze for the following week. The following week will be a gamma ramp, and eventually we will squeeze. The difference also with why is it different from those short and pump and dump stocks? Well, those pump and dump stocks, when they go up 100%, 200%, they're not being shorted as well. You gotta remember, it's just somebody buys up the whole float. They're strategic picks. They pick them up. Sometimes some retailers get lucky and they pick the right ones, like the ones where institution, they pick out the right pattern and see that this is the one that institutions are gonna pick, and dump money on. So they jump on that train or that wagon before it completely goes up to the upside. And the last people that jump in, the FOMOers, come in and then they get completely obliterated and end up bag holding. Um, but for majority of the part with stocks, like like that, they buy up the float, the price goes up, people jump in for FOMO, the price starts becoming, the stock becomes way over bought, and basically that's when they're coming in, the FOMOers are coming in, the OGs that originally bought or purchased the float, are going to be the people to go in and go out. They're on their way out while people are going in. And they eventually become bag holders. Now in the AMC GME play is a little different because they are heavily shorted. One move 60% up, 70% up, or two straight days 30% plus to the upside, there's no market maker control to that, and people are going to get margined. It's a domino effect, one after another. That ramp, even the people that don't get touched or don't drown underwater from the initial two pops, 30%, 30%, that leads up to the market maker having to cover so much crap, which over Friday and then over to next Monday and Tuesday of the next week, which creates a gamma wrap that eventually pushes up the water, creates a little tsunami that reaches this people on the second level, the other shorts that have higher liquidity and they're on top, and that eventually reaches their windows, and now they will start drowning. And when that happens, same thing again, they get obliterated, have to get margin, they have to close, market maker gets obliterated again, yet another week on the options chain. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty, especially with these, like I said, with AMC and GME. It's completely different than any of these other stocks that are squeezing, and you're seeing. Like, look at these two stocks today that went up 400 or 500%. That was not even no options involved or nothing. There was just IPOs, and people just bought this crap up. What do you think is going to go to next? My guess is it's going to go just as fast. Well, not maybe as fast, not in one session, but you bet yourself that it's going to be falling down, and within a few weeks time it's going to be at its original price. Like it's going to be like what, like not even 25% of what it is now. Frustrating. Been trying to beat this boss. It's very hard to beat. Good luck. I like to think Ryan Cohen wants things to go fast as they can. So hopefully it doesn't get delayed. KJW, I agree with you. I hope so. He definitely wants fast, but in the same time, um, these are interesting times in the market. Like these are really interesting times in the market. You hear him and Elon Musk completely talk and expose and talk a lot about shorts, but in all reality, honestly, like if I was one of those two, right? As much admiration I have for Ryan Cohen, most of you guys know that, and for Elon Musk as well. I know that Ryan Cohen had, um, you know, like did his thing to to one second. I just received something about the stock. What is this? Ah, yeah. Um, Nothing too important. I thought it was breaking news actually. But yeah, once I saw, well, like once you see like what he did with GME and this share split, okay, great, wonderful. Now, if I was in any of their shoes, like if I was Elon Musk, for example, of course, yeah, with all those billions, I wouldn't want to buy, probably AMC. I would buy Twitter, yes. But here's another thing. Here's what I would do. I would definitely, he's always itching to try to screw over the shorts that are always shorting his Tesla. Well, what's a better, more juicy place or stock to hurt or get back at the hedges than AMC? Look how cheap it is and how much money it can make you. That's what I don't get. Yeah, maybe they're planning to come in at a different time or whatever, but unfortunately, like, like this, that makes no sense to me. Like, if those guys want to really make some really crazy, crazy money and they want to really stick it to the hedges, if all this crap is not just media show and paparazzi, um, look at it. The most talked about stock on the block, on the market, is AMC. Hands down, Fintail proves it because it's the most held stock. Yeah, followed by GME, I assume at this point, but AMC, I know for a fact, is the single most held stock by retail, according to Fintel. And if you want to, as the world richest man slash, if you're Cohen, like the millennials, Warren Buffett, um, what's a better, what's more a better opportunity right there? One, you gain very big popularity. Do you imagine if Elon Musk announced like announces that he is on the AMC train, like he is on the Doge train, because he's completely adopted Doge. That's why all Doge investors are at his mercy. At any given moment, he could literally like drop it, and the coin will literally fall and start dropping, like drop it like it's hot. And he could also always, with one single tweet, boom, send it to the moon. Um, can you imagine if he comes over to AMC, says, okay, he's always barking about shorts, but what are you doing? Both of them, what are you doing? Brian Cohen, I can see the dividend part and the stock split, so I respect it. At least you're doing your part at the company that you're at. He's on the board of Bed Bath and Beyond as well. Remember that, guys? Uh, So, since he's on the board over there, things are getting interesting. I see him really doing something big for them, and shorts don't really like that. Elon Musk, I don't get it. I can see why Gates and Bezos maybe not, is because those two guys are. I personally think that they hold massive short positions against us. They're behind massive short positions against us. I kid you not. I feel it like with all my heart too. It's just that it hasn't come out or surfaced. But I've been like from the beginning. I felt it like when this thing was always being delayed and dealt with. It's like someone is being protected here. It's not like King Griffin is. Let me be clear with you guys. King Griffin is important, but he's not that important. Citadel, of course, market maker, the idea of too big to lose, but no, what's been happening is something that's like way beyond that, like way bigger than that. Because from the get-go, they could have always, you know, got an scapegoat, which was Melvin Capital, and transfer all Citadel's assets or shorts over to them, and that'll be it. Like, and Citadel's out of the issue. So it was never Griffin. It was always something like like if I had to put my finger on it, and this is what I personally think, literally for like over a year, I've been thinking this and believing this actually to a point. But again, this is AB's opinion. Is that we have people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Bill Bezos, who knows, maybe Musk, who I'm not inclined to believe Musk as well, but at least the first three I mentioned, who took an advantage when the pandemic occurred, and they found that these two companies, like GME and AMC, specifically AMC, were heavily dependent on retail walk-ins for business, which is true. I mean, when the economy was shut down and business was shut down, AMC was basically a zero income, but a liability at that point because money stopped. However, rent and bills did not. This is why we incurred majority of our debt throughout those months. Now, it was a very obvious point at that point, it was obvious. Um, I seen Michael said which stock went up. I don't know, Mike. Is it Mike, I don't even want to look at it. And Lisa don't want to be connected with dumb money. Yeah, or like I was saying, that all this time, these. I mean, I saw like I would also see that if I was in their position. Yeah, this looks like the most vulnerable companies. Let's short them. But they don't short them straight ahead. What they do is they go ahead and give the money. I remember Michael Jordan lost a lot of money on shorting GME. I forgot who back in 2020 who he gave money to, or in the early 2021 in the run up with GME. I don't know who he gave money to that ultimately cost him a lot of money. Um, I know over 100 million. Um, but yeah, those guys, I feel like this is the reason why it's happened like this because we're up against individuals that are standing to lose all their wealth and they don't want to lose all their wealth. Um, could it be possible that it's also Facebook guy? Yeah, look what happened to him. It looks like he already paid half of his price or some of his price. Um, it's weird. It's weird. It's not like just a Citadel or a hedge funds thing. There is some really highly influential people that stand right behind that gate, behind that door that we just don't see. We see the people, the representatives, but we don't see the true people moving the strings. And those people stand to lose a lot. So we're really technically fighting them for their wealth. They don't want to give it up. Obviously, we're not letting go. And eventually, this is what the government is doing is like, we'll just prolong it for you. I'm not going to be on your side and I'm not going to be on this person's side. In fact, I will be a little more leaning on your side. But let me just tell you this something. Eventually, nothing can come out into the public because then we'll have riots and revolutions and whatever. So what will happen eventually is this thing will be paid for, but then we will talk after about the tab after, you know. And that's why it's just a complicated transaction. I mean, okay, I once had a partner in one of my ex businesses. That partner was a nightmare. It was a terrible partnership, but it was a very strategic one at the same time. Okay, why was it a strategic one? I wanted to learn all the ins and outs of that particular business, which was hookah, like the hookah business. I wanted to know, get which places to call to get orders from, um, what licenses to get from the city, what I need, like many things, right? And that person already had one at a different location, so I wanted to partner with him for that. And at the same time, I'll also get extra capital. So it was strategic, and I overlooked the great combination of me and and him. But the problem was, is I had my doubts. I still had to overlook them. Why? Because the strategies, the strategic reasons outweighed the simply the match between me and that partner. But I was able to gauge one thing. So, which is you always want to be majority owner of your business. So when we did the partnership, I was 2/3, and that business partner was 1/3 partner in the business. Plus that, because I can trust what I will do to him or with him, but I don't trust what he'll do to me. At any given time, he could betray me. And yes, these things did occur, and these things were going to happen. So luckily, I did take my precautions from the beginning, and I always made it clear that I was the managing partner. So therefore, I was always running the show, so that even in case push comes to shove, and we had to go to a court or something, it will always be on my end, on my terms. Things will work out, and I would be the one that's forced to sell his, you know, equity. Um, it's always the managing partner and the majority owner that basically purchases out the minority partners. Which unfortunately we got down to that solution, but minus having to go to courts and all that stuff. We just talked about it, and eventually he was like, "Okay, I'll do it." But first, he was it was such a terrible process. Like first, he was going to other people, involving other people. People came to talk to me, and it was nasty, and it took a while too. It took over a year, and it felt like the squeeze basically. That's what it is, because this person just does not want to let go, and he wants to get the biggest chunk for himself, and he just wants to walk out with a piece of meat. That's just how that person was. Eventually, obviously, he walked out with rightfully what he was owed. He was, I mean, I ended up putting him in a position where he honestly could have walked away with almost nothing, had it been for the fact that, you know, like the person he was dealing with was, which is me at that point, had values, and I'm afraid of judgment day. I have to be afraid of God. So therefore, I didn't want, to ever be questioned like, hey, did you take somebody's money or any of that stuff? No, I rather sleep happy in my pillow rather than having to have nightmares at night. But anyways, that literally feels like, I feel like that's what's going on in behind the curtains, is that we have these individuals um, that just don't want to give up, and they're financing this thing. And eventually, when the curtain rolls, I don't think they will ever come to light, but we're just going to see it in different forms of catastrophes, like what happened with Facebook. We're going to see it in a similar way, like, oh, Amazon, terrible sales, and then suddenly their stock drops like 8 7 30 40 50 60%. um, this is their way of getting the money, but in the same time not saying that this person was shorting AMC. And then who knows, it could come out. Let's see. And Mitch Nader. Welcome, Mitch. Don't forget Bloomberg. Never will. Mickey J. What happened to Loop Ring? What happened to Loop Ring? There's nothing much, nothing new. Um, it's very innovative, and those things like that will take some time. Mickey J. Like Loop Ring and anything crypto related and all that stuff. All these things will take some time. But as soon as the stock split happens, and when it goes into effect, it's going to be really interesting to know what happens with Loopring, and with the help of GME and then the meme movement that's on it. Um, that thing is going to compete with a lot of other platforms. In fact, it might overtake them. Christy, how are you doing? Nice to have you and see you in here. Have you already discussed directive re-military enlisted being unable to sell AMC? Yes, I did, Christy. And if are you in here still? Just so I wouldn't have to go, rant on it again, and and you're not. Um, Wasim, assalamu alaikum, brother. Yesterday I received a message of my Fidelity account saying your risk is losing, and your account is concentrated on high risk or losing money. Keep in one account. Please make a call and an appointment. Okay, Christy, good. I'll go over it now. With us, appointment with us, by the way, I only have AMC in it. Very suspicious. Did you make the call? Because I noticed you say yesterday. I would call. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to know why. Hopefully, I mean, here's the thing: if you have only AMC, yes. If you have options, or if you have a margin account, then that's a major problem. Yeah, that's a major problem for you, because as long as the price keeps dipping, then you could get easily margin, just like the people who short the stock because you're playing options. So just call in and let me know what comes of it, please. I do care, brother. So Christy, yes. As far as here's the thing: we gotta start thinking two things. One, the possibility of it happening on that time frame, or the possibility of it not. Now, of course, there is a lot of things that are happening around that same time frame that are bullish. Whether it's the options chain, I remember Pantheon came and talked about it even on my live 2 lives ago, and it makes super sense. However, those things could be filled up, you know, at a week in advance. That's it. So there's that, at least for the options. So I know we have the options, but there's the counter attack to that, or that idea, is that could be filled at any given time. So we can't just rely on that one. So we'll put that out of the way. Now we got the second one, which is the executive order. Well, the counter to that is they could always postpone that to a later date. Well, one thing we know about our government is they love to kick cans down the road. Hopefully they don't, but again, that's a counter to that. So we can't rely on that heavily. And I'll tell you, Christy, where I'm heading with this, as in why I'm breaking it down like this. Now we go to the third one, which is the June GME split. Well, we don't know when they will apply, even if it's voted yes. I'm going to assume the best case scenario here and they vote yes. When will they apply it? Will it be with the beginning of the new year, or with the beginning of the new quarter? Because effective immediately, I haven't seen it like that before. I've seen many stock splits before happen, and you know, and even reverses, and I haven't seen them happen that way, and that quick like that. So again, not saying it's not possible, but I just seen it and it's not possible. So that's the counter to that, as in, like, when will that be announced? The problem for me is that there's always someone on the other side, on the smart money side, that happens to know ahead of everyone else what will be the answer. So they go ahead and make some plays seconds before it's time to, the new market opens, because they just had valuable insider trading. Uh, whale trades, is it trade whales? Whale trader? Yeah, whale trades, the Twitter account. They normally report really cool info and that kind of stuff. So that contradicts that as well. Now we look at the order itself as far as the TCP order, and that's what you were referring to. I'm pretty sure, Christy. And the thing is, if the squeeze does happen, then it's screwed up. It's screwed up for these servicemen. I see the government screwing up all retail before they screw up their servicemen. I'll just be, again, this is my opinion here, just being honest. I see them screwing us before they screw those people out. Um, Second, I don't see the squeeze taking only 1 week, because the duration of it is from May 26th to June 3rd. Um, and I don't see it, the squeeze only taking 1 week. I just be honest. I see many suspensions and halts happening, multiple, maybe 1, 2, 3 days halt suspensions. I mean, you seen what happened in January of 2021 with GME, and you're not talking about the squeeze. You're talking about a gamma ramp that happened. SEC provided that and said, yeah, that was not a squeeze. That was just a FOMO trading, and it went up to the upper $400. What did that result in? It resulted in how many days of suspension was it under suspension? I know they took the button off for quite some time. It was a couple days before it led right straight into the weekend, but that bought them more time. So the idea of me seeing the squeeze happening and ending within that 1 week time frame, I don't see it, which ultimately gets me to jump on the wagon of um, I don't think that this time frame will add up. I just don't see that time frame adding up. Thinking of all these things together, um, and again, they could get hurt if that really does happen, and the squeeze only happens within that 1 week, and it's that little. That means two things are going to have to give up. That means one, if the squeeze is only going to last 1 week, guys, the mother of all squeezes that we're thinking of, that means the squeeze is going to be really quick, and the crazy brackets are not going to be reached, because I don't see them not halting or suspending the stock, whether GME or AMC, on its way up to the 4 digits and perhaps the 5 digits. There's no way that they'll let that in 1 or 2 sessions just ride up, sail smooth into the sky, you know, and we let you go. Just no halts. Keep going, guys. Just let your orders through. I don't see it happening that way. Um, so if there is suspensions and halts, then there's absolutely no way that the squeeze will be done in a week as well. 5 trading sessions, that is. Five just trading sessions, because that's what the trading week is. So when I put all these things together, Christy, and for everyone else obviously listening, again, I don't want to be a FUD to anyone. Um, Clearly, I do care about the servicemen and all their, investments, and that's why I'm like, what I'm saying is kind of favoring nothing happening so that they don't get screwed. But it's not that that's what I'm hoping for. God knows. I want it to happen right now as we speak. Um, long time been in this. It's trust me, guys, long time, and a lot of frozen money that has just been frozen in this. So I want it to be over. But when again, you got to take emotions and hype out of the solution or out of the equation. And when you think like that, you start seeing things and thinking of things a little more realistically, not hyper. Um, so yeah, AB does not think that ultimately thinking of all these things very considerably and carefully. Um, I don't think there's going to be a squeeze at that time frame. We could have a squeeze before then, because I don't think it's going to come down to those poor servicemen that is like, no one can convince me that those are the people that hold the most shares in AMC and GME. And that's the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy is us, the people who are basically the retail who's sitting on the sidelines, you know, not the servicemen, not those accounts. Um, so if there's a squeeze, it's going to be before or after that week. I just don't see it all happening on that week and where they get screwed. Now, get this, there could be a crash on that week. That's a different thing that people are not thinking about, because people want to see, always think the best, and that's understandable, but you got to prepare for the worst as well. Um, there could be a crash that begins on that week, and that will prevent these servicemen. And this is where it's because it gets insidious, and it prevents them from moving or selling anything, so that they're tied in. So by the time the next week opens up, you can only imagine at that point. I don't want to go ahead and give that. It's a very grim outlook, but I see that happening more than the other possibility of a squeeze happening at that time frame. Because again, it's better for them, for the government to blame the fall down or the fallout on us, or on the system, or the Russian war against Ukraine and China and Taiwan and the inflation. That's a better excuse for their servicemen than the idea of, oh, we just wanted to lock you out so that you don't go out and make money. But we want the rest of retail market to make money, but just not you guys. Uh, I don't. It can't. It can't. So, again, with all love and respect, hopefully that makes any sense, and hopefully you guys could respect also my opinion on the matter. That's just how I think of it. Hopefully, I still be in your good on your book, on your good list, Christy. No, nothing like that. Only shares. Okay. Yeah, let me know let me know what happens when you call them, please. Did they indicate their rationale for the order? No, as far as indicating, they're not gonna end. They're just, these things are like bulletins they just put up, and they're not gonna, you know, tell you like, oh, now that we see that there's a lot of interest from apes, there's nothing to look here. There's nothing to look forward here, look to here, guys. There's nothing going on, you know. Um, just business as usual. It could be anything. I haven't really dug too deep into it. I just put the one and two together. Um, as far as like why, what was their rationale? Why do this? But sometimes, like I've said this a lot to a lot of people on my chats, and I say this to the community all the time. It's good to do your DD and to read and to go into things and deep into things, but you have to know when to ground yourself and know that you're getting too deep, and now you have to come back out a little bit so that you don't, one, lose your own sanity and then cause yourself for a lot of letdowns. For example, the people that found that became very, very, very hype for them, right? And now the idea has a life to it. Imagine when this time frame, like when end of May comes and goes by, and June comes and goes by, and July comes and goes by, and we're like, okay, like, what do you think is going to cause those people to feel? Specifically, the people that are so adamant about this. That's why you got to ground yourself. That's why I say AB mainly cares about the MOAS. As far as the objective or the subject of changing the system and the market, hey, I'm not going to throw water at who's trying to change it, but I'm going to just say that, yeah, 1980, in the 80s it happened, in the 90s it happened, in the 2000s it happened, and now it's happening again. What are the odds that it will happen again? I understand we are supposed to be the generation and the people and the time that changes things, but you guys got to remember that I understand we have this luxury of freedom of speech and everything in America, and now we have technology. So we see a lot of things that older generations didn't. Like 2008, they were just blindsided by it. At some point, you guys all, or everyone has to realize that there's politics and there's agendas, and these politics will do things will just work out their way the way they want, depending on the individuals in control on top. And this idea of oh, the Democrats and Republicans and whatever not. Again, I hate to burst the bubble. This is AB's opinion again. I respect everybody's opinion. Hopefully, you respect mine, but I don't see a difference between either party. I think that all this party stuff online and on the news is all for it's all for the paparazzi and the media and the talk, and to make it like a good rivalry so that donations come in for campaigns and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the agenda is the same. The agenda is just the same, people. Come on. You don't even need to wake up for this. This is in front of you. It's in your dreams, in your nightmares, it's in everywhere. You know how I know this? It's not because of what I don't listen to what people say. I look at their actions. Every senator, doesn't matter what party they belong to, they're going to speak something that supposedly follows the agenda of the party that they're within. So within the realm that they're in. And they've been making so much money making bullshit after bullshit to people. And people have been buying it because at the end of the day, people just don't care. People want to live and they just love their freedom here. But when it affects our freedom, that's when people start waking up, and that's when they have problems, and that's when they have their protocol, which is Congress, and hey, we'll bring such and such in. Like when 2008 happened, Congress had they brought in those who was it that they brought in, and it was just a bloodbath, like they basically scolded these people, individuals, one after another. Shame on you, you did this to the country, blah blah blah. And it was just supposed to be, here you go, like this is supposed to make up for you losing your home, um or your job. Now we with the same shit happened in January 2021 with Robinhood. And I don't care if I get shadow banned for this or whatever. Again, this is you. I'm not. This is not my bread and butter, guys. I don't make money from here. Never. My intention was never to make money from here. Like to make, oh yeah, all my money from here. Trust me. I have my own businesses and I trade. I'm a daily trader as well. So yeah, in 2021, same thing happened, and now, like, think of it like this. Now that we know that there's things that are like media that is surfacing, that is saying that the White House actually sent that order down to Robinhood and said, go ahead and do such and such, take off the button, stop selling the security. You start thinking, and you say, and then after that, like a couple weeks later or a month later, they brought him in, the Ukrainian guy. Was he from the Ukraine or from Bulgaria? I forgot where. That Vlad guy. Who cares, right? He's somewhere from there. They brought him in, and they just were scolding him, and they were letting him have it. And hey, you did this. He said, "We're sorry. Yeah, collateral. We're last." And that was it. Do you know how many people lost money that day? I was so pissed that day. I was one of the people that was so heated to the point where I was this close, ready to sell all my AMC. You know why? Because at least I was able to see GME go to the 400, and I even get to see my AMC go past 27. And you think that when senators and representatives were like going, like ripping him apart in Congress, you think that made me feel better? That didn't do shit for me. That didn't do shit for millions of other people. Any of you in here that's been in there in the play since then, in like before the 2021 run up, tell me, how did you feel? Did you feel like, oh yeah, look at them, they're slapping him with those words? But that didn't do anything for me. Like it's just like when the SEC catches a wrong or a false or insider trading, and someone, one of these hedge funds that steals like $50 million, and they come and slap them with $5,000 fine. It didn't do shit. Sorry for the S words, guys, but I got emotional because it reminded me of such dark and terrible moment in time, that unfortunately our people and our beloved American people are going through and goes through. So when I sit there and think about all this, it's not that simple as in all these things that we're just looking up and we're seeing. Um, it's just not as that simple. Eventually we're gonna get what we came for, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's either that they just give the middle finger to all of us, to all retail, and after that, good luck calming down the fires, because they give us the middle finger from here. How many millions are in this plays, both plays. I'm not, or all meme stock plays. I'm not going to insinuate or think or even talk about entertaining that idea, but again, I'm just the mindset like this, who prepares for the worst but thinks, hopes for the best. So seeing the best, there's no other possibility that they can walk away from this without having to let the squeeze happen. And it's not that let the squeeze happen by itself. Look at it. Market maker has 65 billion worth of stock plus that were paid for by people, but the market maker never purchased. They never delivered. That's equivalent to anything between 20 to 25% of all stock on the market today. When that has to be delivered, which again, it's beyond me how we still have people in offices and like they're sitting there with a Gary Gensler or whatever, and they're all running around talking about today we're passing NSSC and the DTCC, and now we're making a hip hop song out of it, and let the NSCC get down with the DTCC, and because they also empty without me. And it's like, it's so crazy. Imagine if they do all this crap and yet someone is taking money for stock. This is the joke of the century. Someone is taking money for stock and they're not paying for it. It's like you're going to Kroger's and you're buying food, you're paying for the food, but Kroger is saying you can't have it right now. And you walk out of the door and say, okay, that's fine. Yeah, whenever you want to give it to me, just give it to me. Please don't screw me over on it. It doesn't work like this. So it's so amazing how they were able to get the public and everyone to accept this big pile of crap, including me speaking here, guys. Again, I'm not just like, oh, I'm better or higher than anyone. No, including me, of course. To accept all this pile of crap and accept that the market maker, it's okay that, yeah, they can get away. Like, no, the line should stop right there. We paid for this before we go further to addressing other issues, whether climate control or or we address the transaction clearing funds and the NSCC or the repo and the SFTs and all that crap. Before we jump into all this, let's go with square one. Where are the stocks that we paid for? If not, can we have our money back for all that stock? I know this is an impossible feat to do, but again, this is just an answer to that question. Can we have all our money back for those stocks? Just particularly that. Given that you don't know who paid for what anymore, because everything is all over the place. There's so many synthetics. There's so many things. You take my money and you use it to buy with my own money. You buy, you go and borrow a share to create synthetics out of it, and then you short me with my own money. It's like such a big pile of crap, guys. And I'm getting emotional, and I'm still smiling, of course, and everything, but I'm getting emotional for you and for me. I don't like bullying. God knows, like God knows, I hate bullying in life in general. Even if I have, and this caused me a lot of headache in my life. Like when I see something that is not right being done to anyone, even when it's not done to me, it's always becomes my issue. And so many people in my own family, so many people in my life, my friends said, "This is you, it's not up to you to change everything." And it's like I'm not changing everything. I'm just changing what I'm help changing or helps fixing what I see. Okay, let AB say "Woosah." No more emotions for everyone. But I want everyone to know I'm not upset or mad. I'm emotional for everyone and for us, for our state, for what's happening with us. The fact that we now are waiting from one regulation to another. We're like we're literally like we're waiting for one. We're waiting. Oh, okay, April 25th, comments are due for this. We paid for this. Wait, back up. We paid for this. You can't tell me to pay money and then hope for the best. Like it's so backwards and it's so screwed up. It's so screwed up to the point where there's no way they can't like there's no way they can just tell us go F yourself. You know, it's impossible. And if they do, it's the end of this. If literally it's the end of this great world as we know it. It'll be stupid. It'll be stupid after that. There, if nothing stands for nothing, because that officially solidifies that there are no more values anymore, and nothing is safe anymore. Not even the word high is safe anymore. Let's see. Fidelity told me, and that's Christy. Fidelity told me I could not get my proxy material and control numbers from them because they allegedly do not have access to them, even though my shares were purchased through them in street name. Oh, you DRS'd yours, did you, Stacia? Um, Stated I have to wait to receive the information directly from GameStop. Well, I'm assuming again. I'm assuming that you DRS. Did you do that, Christy? Um, Reg Ramos, my man Ramos. How are you, brother? Lisa. Well, thank you for the compliment. I just love listening to you, and I am humbly accept. I don't even know how to reply to your comment, but to your compliment. But I would say thank you. See, I told you guys, AB is not very good with compliments. He gets shy very, very easy because I don't like to have the center stage, at least on myself for sure. Peter Jefferson, there's the man. I was talking about you just a little bit ago. Peter, you were on fire in the Pantheon last night. Peter's always on fire. Coffee or tea? Ramos, I have, what time is it right now? It is 5. I have 4 hours to go for fasting. So I would choose coffee when it's time. I was passionate about the TSP conversation. It's one thing people lose money in the market, it's another to lose life savings to retire on. That's hard to make back in the future. No, I agree with you, Peter, for sure. Don't, one piece of advice, Peter, just, I know there's a lot of like fluidity to that idea and that time frame, but I would say please just don't buy too much into this. You should be more afraid of a stock market crash rather than a stock market squeeze on that time frame. This is AB's opinion again, and I'm not a financial advisor. You know that, Peter, and all of you guys. But I'm just saying because I made the case why I think that could be a reason, like a crash Yeah, that could happen in one session, in one crazy session before any halts come in. You would have all the major indexes. I mean, all it takes for the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq to be completely suspended for the rest of the day, for all stocks to be suspended for the rest of the day, is for the Nasdaq to go down 30% or higher, 30 or 33% or higher in one single session. That happens, you're talking about a suspension, automatic suspension to all trading. That's a circuit breaker, that just the motherboard of all circuit breakers. So that could happen in one day. It could happen in 1 week, yes. But us squeezing only in 1 week time frame, I just don't see that. I just don't see that, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me clean out my lens a little bit. I don't know. I feel like everything is so bright. Oh, look, it's still the same, but my face got a little more color to it now. I was very pale earlier. The allergies are kicking my butt. So yeah, so I would worry more for a wide stock market crash around that time rather than a an actual squeeze. And again, I'm not putting any. I'm not the one who's trying to throw FUD here or any of that stuff. I just made my case earlier, guys, and you've heard what AB had to say. So this shouldn't be hard to come out. I didn't DRS Stacia. No, I know you didn't, Stacia. I was referring to Christy. I think she is probably have moved on with this from this chat. I saw that Peter smoking. So yes, Stacia, to mellow out. If you guys have any questions, obviously, please go ahead and put them up. If you want to keep emotional AB in emotional AB state, go for it. I'm feeling great, trust me. I'm not like upset or anything, um, but I can't see wrong and be quiet about it. I just can't. Can you do bong during fasting? Who can you mean, Ramos? Yes, I could do it, but not at this time, after I break my fast. So here's the thing. So from sunrise, which is basically at 5 in the morning, so from 5 in the morning till around 9 o'clock at night, AB, for example, cannot drink or eat anything. I can't consume anything. Um, you know, you can't have, you also can't, you know, practice, you know what I'm trying to get. That's why you're laughing, right, Stacia? You know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to find a professional manner to say it. You also can't practice the the way of. I'm gonna give you the foot story too. It's good. We're getting there. You also. I know you got it, Ramos. You can't practice also the art of love. But after you break your fast, you can um, practice the art of love, but just after breaking your fast, and it has to be also. Again, we're speaking religion here, so you have to bear with the parentheses. It has to be within a wife and a husband format. It can't just be, outside of marriage. I'm pretty sure all three major religions, book-based religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, believe the same outlook as well, as far as that manner. So we're not gonna do religion studies tonight. Not tonight, guys. Sorry. But yeah, so after you break your fast, Ramos, um, around 9 o'clock at night, you can go ahead and have all the love you want. It just has to be with your significant other that is legally and in front of the eyes of God, your significant other. Hopefully that answers it. But yeah, you don't need any permissions after you break your fast for the bunk. For the hookah, you don't. Yep. And Stacia, we're gonna get to the foot story. It's very little. It's not that long. It's very small. But it's crazy. I never knew something like that existed until it happened. Like until I heard about it and I seen it with my own eyes. Peter, all true what you said, bro. Crash is imminent and soon. And yes, so I can see, guys, here's the cool part. I can see, like, I can literally see a squeeze happening in May, and the crash follows right after, which happens to be in that week that they're talking about. Um, yeah, you know why that's more believable? Because look at the movements right now. Every day we're on a downtrend move. Don't let the little green that happened the day before yesterday and like don't let the Stacia, I just seen your comment like no solo act. No, no, no. I'll get into it in the story. But yeah, so like don't let the green little green action that happened the day before yesterday on Monday and then a little bit today fool you. We are still on a downward movement, right? This time last week, and like if you look over the last month, we're definitely down, way down than where we were supposed to be last month, you know, or we were last month at some point. Um, Look at the other stocks. Forget just the meme stocks or AMC and GameStop. I always like to say this. I know that we are within the market, but I always like to tell everyone. I understand we look at macro ideology of things on the whole market outlook, macro, micro. But here's the problem: we are not in the same category as the other stocks, guys. I know we're within the market. This is what the market maker would love for us to believe, but I don't see us. I again, I humbly disagree, but at the same time, I agree with this theory right here. But I disagree with the theory that we're in the same market. We are not in the same market. Those other stocks are not over leveraged like AMC and GameStop. AMC and GameStop are extremely over leveraged, like extremely oversold, extremely over recreated, extremely naked shorted, extremely anything you want to think of. It's AMC and GameStop and a bunch of other meme stocks. When the S word hits the fan, those other stocks I can see in that week, Peter. I can see in that week. I can see everything like the Amazons. I can see all the other major indexes. I can see the ETFs. I can see whatever other random stocks. I can see all those get screwed over, you know? Uh-oh. Look, now what is this? Oh, I'm getting some hackers webcams, hot girls. Oh, okay. Well, let me delete the hot girls out of here real quick. Sorry, guys. I don't like hot girls. Yeah. No hot girls zone. Sorry, let me just stop these real quick. Wow. Okay. I think I removed that was the last of it. Hopefully that was the last of it. Okay. Uh-oh, somebody doesn't want AB to say stuff. Who cares, right? We don't care. We're not that kind of people. So, anyways, all these stocks, I could see them dumping and falling down off the face of the earth because again, these are all stocks that these same people that are over shorting us are invested in. And if they don't get that money from the feds or the NSCC, then they have to reach there. They just have to, and they will reach there, and they on top of that also will still get money from the NSCC or the feds, obviously, most likely the feds. The money will come. Like there's no worry, no doubt about that. Eventually, it will come. They just like literally need to make us reach the sky, back down to Earth, and go back to the sky before we get our own. Um, and there's just so much. There's so much. Like, trust me, guys. We're not in the same market that all the other stocks are in. We're not the same. Yeah, the whole market can be red. That's what it looks like right now. But when the real dump happens, we're going to be the opposite. Everything else dumps, we fly up to the moon. Again, not financial advice. It's just AB's opinion on the matter. Um, do you know the date when JP uh, speaks about the rate hike? Jerome Powell? Oh, yeah, May 4th, Ramos. May 3rd and May 4th, but it gets announced May 4th. A lot of people get confused because apparently they have the right to come out up till 2 weeks before the meeting and say what they think and say what they think is on the table, but not really give 100% answer. Which again, is bull crap in my opinion because it gets utilized and leveraged by the hedge funds to do what they do on the market, as you can see. These people should not be able to come out and talk at all until they just make the announcement. The announcement should just come as a surprise to everyone. Yeah, you would think. Couple hedge funds getting vaporized. We are getting closer, closing in on Citadel. Who's that? Harsan Gill. Hey, long time no see, my friend. Um, I totally agree with that. Well, Archegos guy got scooped up with the financial officer, I think, of Archegos as well. They got scooped up today. Harshan, do you see a recession happening this year? I honestly 100% see it happening this year. It's like I'm not extremely right on like top top of it, but it literally depends on May 4th because it's gonna be now like toward the end of this year, not in the summer, like maybe in the winter time, or the beginning of next year. It depends. It all depends on what the Feds will do. For example, on the 4th, it will tell me a lot. It's gonna tell me a whole lot. If they don't end up dropping assets from their sheets, then I know that we're not gonna have the recession the way that it will be feeling it, the beginning of it, but entering the ground, but it won't start until the beginning of next year. That's what I think. If they also don't hike the rates, then I also don't see things. I see can kicking down the road, and it's going to take until the beginning of next year for the recession to occur. Um, and basically, we're going to be going through about 7 months of consolidating up, down, stay right here, go back down, up, down, um, which obviously no one is looking forward to, right? But that's just how it is. I just it depends on what happens on the 4th, and then ultimately depends on what happens with the executive order on the 3rd. Stacia is like, wow, you need a mod. Yeah, there's too many hot girls. um, Mickey J, speak the truth, brother. You got it, my friend. You know it. Mickey J the GOAT. Bro, that means you are on their radar. Just goes to show the content is not on good quality, but threatening to their goals. Yeah, well, threatening or it's all good. It's all business as usual. Yeah, it's so funny that it comes out right after um, AB gets his emotional uh, workout for the day. I'm doing well. Okay, Peter asking Stacia how is she doing. Just work as usual. Great. Do you see AMC popping? Harshan Grill off when recession hits, as that can cause hedge funds to be margin called. Um, well, I see it happening before a recession hits. That's my opinion on it. Not FA, not financial advice, but I see it personally. I see it happening before the recession. I think that the what happens because of the squeeze and the other meme stocks squeezing, and also with crypto and all the other stuff, I think those things will also will play a big factor in in how fast the recession comes. But I think that the recession will come after, not during or before. I think it will come after. As a Here you go, apes. Thank you for bringing the economy down, and then the media will eat the living hell out of it and push it out to everyone else. Question: based on your educated guess and market trends, do you see a possible depression in the next 2 to 5 years? I see the future, the next biggest Great Depression. You know how they had, good question, Peter, by the way. You know how the Great Depression was back in the early 1900s? Yeah. Um, we're bracing for something like that. How am I saying this? Not just on like my educated guess, but it's also because of looking at the curve, the yield curve, and comparing the S&P 500 to, um, you know, what the curve was back then, and we're very identical to that curve. So, using the word depression itself, um, specifically that it's not just going to be a recession or a regular breakdown, economic breakdown. Um, it's I see yes. Unfortunately, I see a greatest depression. What are your AMC brackets? Never heard you mention them. I don't have brackets, Harsan. I'm a gold seller waiting to sell my gold at the market price. Gold changes, its value changes, depending on whatever time and whatever situation the world is going through. So hopefully that answers it, brother. So Stacia, um, are you here first? I don't want to share foot story with everybody. It's very quick if you're not here. Um, what would your hedge plan? What would be your hedge or plan you would suggest to navigate through those times? I'm asking because I think we can all plan accordingly once AMC runs. Excuse me. Okay, well, Peter, when that happens, always remember in depression, the biggest things that are gonna be needed, like it's always necessities in life are are gonna be the most important thing, and the wants, because look at it, we have a lot of conveniences, especially here in the US. Life, as far as like, let's really 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 answer this question tight. We all need our Wi-Fi, right? We need our internet. But can you live without it? We all can jokingly say, no, I can't live without my Wi-Fi. Of course, AB can't make his streams, right? But if it comes to life and death, yeah, I don't need internet. You don't need internet. Nobody needs internet. When it comes to life and death. But food, water, these essential things are a necessity to live. And those things are going to get extremely expensive in those times. I mean, they're already getting very expensive, but in that time, it's going to be a different level of expensive. Like people fighting each other over a sack of potatoes, like that kind of crazy, you know? Um, and they don't care about the price because even if they have it or they don't have it, I mean, you're going to have theft going on like crazy. People are going to be like violence is going to be shooting throughout the sky, like the skies, like it's going to be crazy. It's not times that obviously anybody would look forward to. Um, and the only way you can prepare for it is by like preparing for the worst idea of it, you know. um, what is the worst idea of it? Martial law. Like if you go into this thinking with that mindset, at least from a mental standpoint, you'll be prepared. Now as far as what to do to hedge your position or yourself and maintain somewhat of your wealth or get through these times, obviously especially after AMC, is to open things or to be invested in things that will thrive in those times. What would be things? Let's think on it. When the economy shut down completely of COVID back in 2020, everything got like some stocks obviously got obliterated, and some stocks got like pushed like crazy. I'm not saying invest back in the stock market or saying don't invest back in the stock market. I'm just giving the example here, you know. Um, you could like obviously gold would always be a great hedge against crazy times like that, especially with when the currency drops and there's a depression. Because some places they actually just lose the currency because it becomes worthless because it's so inflated. It becomes worthless. So what they do is they start using gold to use for transactions. Yeah, in some parts in Venezuela, that's what they do. They literally just like walk around and like pay each other for a haircut. You pay this much in gold. For that, you pay like it's crazy. It's crazy. I have a twin sister. They're twin sisters, and they're like amazing of mine, friends of mine, and their parent is extremely wealthy from their dad. I forgot what he did. Um, he works with some company about oil, and you know Venezuela is the richest reservoir of oil in the world. People don't also know that. It's always thought of that it's the Middle East. Um, it's just there's a lot of corrupted government there, and that's why the people are not enjoying anything. Venezuela is like a heaven on earth, straight up. It's big. It's if there is a country that never needs any resources from any part of the world and can solely live independent and survive for possibly forever, it's Venezuela. If it doesn't have the government that it has, and if there's no other outside interferences. Again, that's political talk. That's too far down the line. We could talk about that some other time. But um, we have you have to basically look at the things that are gonna be thriving in those times, only in those times. Houses will drop, cars will drop. Why? Because again, they're not a necessity. They're a want. They're not a necessity. You don't need them to live. You need them, yeah, because you want them, but you don't need them to live. Um, I would definitely say if you would have started earlier on farming land, I don't know what your views are on marijuana, but those, um, trust me, they're gonna pass when the depression hits. They're gonna pass the laws. The whole House, the Senate, the Representative, and the grandmother as well. I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna say something else, but I won't even mention it, so we don't get more hot girls in here. um, but yeah, so those things they're gonna pass because when the depression hits and the recession hits, they need more money, more tax. The government is gonna be screwed. The people are gonna need something because they're gonna be basically screwed. They're gonna give him sundial. That's my guess. They will definitely vote sundial in. And now, as a common citizen, you could easily just smoke yourself out every day, every night, and if you can afford it, and just move on with life. You know, don't question what's happening, what's going on. And that's just the way that it that things will get through in those times. So, Peter, as we inch closer and closer to those times, we can come up with better ideas. But start making a list. I'll start making mine. You start making a list. Everyone else in here is listening. Start making a list of what do you think if the world as I just described it was to be? What would be things that would be extremely uh, possible then? And you know what's crazy? Since we all have formed a family in here, we all can start something or many of those things that will be suggested or brought up. Let's help each other out as a family. What are things that could flourish in those times? Things that won't and things that will. Um, I don't see taxi services flourishing. I don't see Ubers flourishing. I just don't see it again because the cost of oil is going to skyrocket even more and gas. Um, Cars are going to be cheaper. So people would see they would rather buy a car than at that point it will be worth buying a car rather than having to a get an Uber, and drivers are not going to be everywhere. Everything's going to be always at double price in the red. You know that Uber and Lyft red zone, whatever, to make extra money. Yeah, no one is going to afford that in those times. So automatically, when that depression starts, AB knows he's going to short that. Not financial advice, but sometimes AB can easily get himself in trouble, easily. But again, he loves the family, and I love you guys. I know you guys love me too as well. Um, so yeah, think about things that will not flourish, and think about the things. It's a fun thing to think about. Like sit there and collect with yourself, look at the sun, or gaze at the moon, the beautiful weather at night, and depending on where you at. If you're in Cincinnati, you don't want to do that. It's freezing outside right now. That's the weather of the Midwest, unfortunately. Um, think on it, write that list, and bring it up. We all can, educate each other and then come up with ideas that we all can't just think about. There's no such thing as one person who can see it all. Hassan again. Oh, okay, Station. Now I see you back. Do you see American dollar drop down to be equal with Canadian dollar when recession comes? Well, if that happens, it's going to be a two-way highway, my friend. It goes down in the yes, unfortunately, I see all the world's currencies going haywire, which will require all governments at that point to push forth the digital currencies. And this is something that I personally have even got more hip to through Pantheon. But my my personal belief here is that it's going to be Bitcoin and the crypto world, because honestly, if the world or the governments can find a way to fit the digital currencies under the or within the blockchain of the Bitcoin world, then I can see a perfect switch over to that. But that's going to happen whether it's Bitcoin, crypto, or whether it's digital currencies. Is one of these two. Um, and this is what I mentioned earlier a few weeks ago when I said I am on something, and two things are fighting, and that's the two that are fighting each other. I just decided to bring it out. That's it. But we don't know which is going to be implemented or which one is, because while there is a big bullish case, a more bullish case for Bitcoin and the cryptos, decentralized, uh, coins and technologies, stable coins, and obviously the digital coins that each country will make, um, is most likely trying to fight that, unless they incorporate that in that and make Bitcoin as like the monetary system that every country's, um, you know, every country's coin fares against the value of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is 400,000 or whatever, 500,000, who knows, and the American dollar is worth this much and this much of Bitcoin. If they can introduce something like that, then I can see how that would be great. But if they don't, then obviously one is going to take over the other, and as the thing. It could be obviously Bitcoin as the government currency. That's the way I see it, the overall international government currency. And I could see Ethereum, and other coins like, whether Cardano or XRP and whatever, all each one have a realm that it navigates in. Um, I prefer the decentralized sector than the country's digital coins, because digital coins, trust me, guys, you don't want, like, if you think that the governments are controlling us and suppressing freedom of speech and whatnot, wait till they pass digital dollars. Digital currencies, oh my God, you're gonna be literally like titty fed, my friends, if that stuff comes to fruition. You're gonna be equivalent to being titty fed as an adult. Your food, your money, your payout. At any given time, you could be put in timeout. Imagine that. Because again, it's all digital. They can freeze it. That's why I prefer Bitcoin. Uh-oh, I might get hot girls now jumping back in here anytime soon. uh, Stasia's like, BRB, wait for me. Ah, okay, go for it. When you come back, let me know. I'm back. Oh, okay. You're back. Peter, laughing out loud at the sundial comment. You got my point, right? I try to be as respectful. That's why, to everyone else that's listening, guys. Like I said, I hold myself to a higher regard for all of you, because I know you guys have respect for me. So I have the utmost respect for all of you guys, and each single one of you, of course. Um, we do love you. Thank you, Stacia. Um, so again, Hassan, hopefully the that answers the question, brother. I know it's a little more, but again, I give full on explanations. I don't just give yes and no's, unless it's a yes and no question. Um, so the foot story, Stacia. So I had this friend. Okay, again, he was that soccer player, Alejandro, and we were just very close friends, and we still are. And he was dating this chick who was crazy gorgeous blonde, crazy, and I'm friends with her too. But it was awkward because he like, they both were obviously still in college, and at that, when I knew them, I was already out of college, way out of college. And she was a really sweet girl, an amazing person, still is. God, like, Melissa, if you're seeing this, I doubt that you're seeing this, because again, I'll tell you guys one thing: AB had never advertised his channel around all his inner circle, all his people. Best believe, all you guys are my family. And you guys would wonder, is like, why? I have never shared. No one around my world that knows me personally knows I'm doing this. And I chose to do this like this because I didn't want to come in and get like this overwhelming or whatever support that just is following me because they're my people. No, I wanted to gain, or to get you guys, or my to be my family. I wanted to create a family. I didn't want to just come in with one. And eventually, of course, I'm gonna let everyone know, um, and share it on my Facebook and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure, at that point, that's when more people would join in and come in. But I wanted to make my own family first before I get, just pushed by people that are gonna, push me no matter what. They're like push me in a good way. They're gonna support me no matter what. I wanted to gain you guys, and work and earn your guys' respect and earn your guys' follow, obviously, um, before I get the clan or the crowd that basically will follow me no matter where I go and support me no matter what I do. So simply because they know AB is a good guy. I'm not gonna go do some crazy stuff, okay? But yeah, they're all still in the dark. They do not know. That's why if you notice, like you've never seen a sibling, you've never seen a cousin, you've never seen like a friend that is supposed to be here that I like, that in the chat that, oh yeah, my AB's friend, like you never seen any of that. Because it's on the low. No one knows. I am not sharing my channel. I just don't. It's all gonna come in as a surprise. But like I said, I wanted to get you guys and create a new family before I can actually announce it with everyone else. Earn my place before I come in and have just like some random hundreds of people that are like, yeah, go AB, you're the best, man. Even if I'm saying, uh, if I'm saying AMC and GME meme stocks. Let's go. Even if I'm saying just shallow random things. I'm like, yeah, you're the best trader in the world. I know you guys would not give me that. So so I had to come in and earn my respect first. And I respect you guys for it. I love you guys for it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Um so yes. So I told so Melissa, if you're ever gonna watch this in the future, I have my deepest condolences for your mother that just passed away. Um, and I won't dive deep into it, Melissa. I know how much she meant to you. Um, so may God, receive her soul, and she's at a much better place than where she were. Um, and may God reunite you guys all when the time is right. So hopefully she's in great hands now. With that being said, so yeah, so Melissa was this just drop dead gorgeous blonde, and she knows, like I always tell her this. And Alejandro at school, because again we're like brothers, me and him, and so Alejandro was always like this guy that every place we go to there's always females jumping at him, every place we go to. um and Melissa was a jealous chick, but in the same time, well, I don't know which chick isn't, but she was a jealous chick, but in the same time, he did not, like Alejandro was just too stupid, like at that time. He even says it, he knows it. And here's the crazy part. While they were together in a relationship, one day, I lived in this house close to campus, and Alejandro for a while was staying there. So she would be over all the time. Sometimes she would sleep with him over. Um, I just had many rooms in there, and it was just like whoever. Sometimes I had my brother; he had a room in there as well. So it was kind of like a college feel to it, even though we were like most of us were not in college, but it was just beautiful for all of us to have unity. Um, AB is a lone wolf, but in the same time, I love unity and family. But I hate, like, I love my lone time, but I hate to live alone. That I can't do. So that was amazing. We're always doing stuff together. So one day I walk into the room. I didn't even knock. I just walk in the room, and don't worry, no, I didn't see them getting it on. I see him like literally like taking pictures of her feet, like, and then right next to her shoes, like she got the shoes next to her feet, and then she was taking his. But I walked in there, I was like, okay, I'm not, what the hell are you guys doing? And then she proceeded and she started taking his. And they were like, they're laughing. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I said the F word. Oh my God. Sorry. Um, But that's why the moment was stupid. Like, what are you guys doing? What is this? Like, is that some sort of like, is that what you guys are into? Like, aren't you like some, like, really all this? And this is what you're looking at? So I was weirded out by it. Yeah, so like, look at Peter. It turns out it was not even theirs. That's the sad part. Because I knew Alejandro very well. I knew him very well. Now, of course, his female, like his woman, I didn't know her very well. Like I didn't know her inside out. Like I didn't know all her preferences and stuff. Like of course we never had that conversation. She's a friend of mine now, after all these years, of course. But I knew what Alejandro was. I knew exactly what he was into and all that stuff, and that was not on the list, like of the shit that he would talk about. Sorry for the S word as well. Again, this story is bad influence. Um, so apparently they were taking the pictures because there was some. Apparently there was some random guy down in Florida. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, that was the state that was paying her and him. Take this, literally $200 for a picture, and made it 300 or $400 if she sent the picture of the her foot and her man's foot like together, and the shoes. Obviously, you see my face right now. I was like, what? Stacey's like, here comes the hot girls. Yeah, they were getting paid by this random guy, some random old guy, like hundreds of dollars, and they were enjoying it because they were, in college, because they wanted money. And Melissa's family were wealthy actually, so they're from Cleveland, Lima, Ohio, and they don't really need the money, but Alejandro did. I appreciate, and I have a deep connection with Alejandro because he was separated from his mom at a young early age, and she's in Colombia. It just took until about 2 3 years ago until he finally saw his mom for the first time since he was a kid. That's why he became a professional soccer player here in the after graduating from the college program at UC, and then in Cincinnati, and then he went to play for the MLS one season. Then after that, he went to play in the MX Liga in Mexico. But yeah, they were. Could you imagine this? They were literally paying, that random guy was paying them $200 for the pictures and $400 for the pictures with shoes, some old shoes. Like as soon as I heard this, like my face right away, I was like, I put my fingers on my nose, because I'm already imagining, like, that what that person is doing with the shoes. Oh my God. I was like, and here I am walking in here, thinking you guys are getting freaky in here on each other. Um, and I was like, what are they doing? And then you guys are really actually doing this to make money? And she had the nerves. Melissa had the nerves. Like, you want to see his face? I was like, if you show me that man's face, I swear to God, I will Photoshop this shit somehow. I'm sorry for the S word again. I will take a photo of this and I will put this man on Facebook. I will share it everywhere. I will create an Amber Alert with this guy. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, you could find nasty shoes, old shoes, anywhere, anywhere. You don't need somebody to send them to you. Anywhere, and you could pictures of feet. You could, like, pretty sure you can look out there and find someone who is into that same kind of stuff. And It's the life we live in. It's a big world. It's a big world, people. It's a big world. Make your mama proud, Ramos. Hey, thank you, brother. Let's fucking go. Ah, you got me with this LFG. I should have said LFG, but you got me. I said the F word now. Ramos, I'm never falling for that again. Foot fetish. Peter, like, well, I guess it could be worse. Now, if you just like seen how like when I walked in and I seen him like all positioned with the camera, like he was about to take that one picture, like that the picture that will define their relationship or something. Like, and then, after that, I'm looking and see like, what is it? What are they doing? And like she's like turned around, like she's taking his and he's doing, and I was like, okay, this doesn't seem very masculine. What is he doing? um Don't use the word fetish. Oh my God, yeah, that'll probably send all the hot girls in here back. Okay, Stacia, I will say he has a strong admiration for feet. That guy did in Florida. Wow, here comes the hot girls. He said the F word. Oh, sweet Jesus, 200 for feet pics? He can Google and get for free. No, see, Peter, that's the weird part. I thought that too, right? And I was like, why? Like, why not just Google that? And apparently, it's because he's seen her and his face. Like, he knows them. So apparently, these pics, I don't want to insinuate on obviously what the guy does with the pictures, but, um, you know, the weird part is the weird part. Um, but yeah, he knows who these pics belong to, and that way they're authenticated. That was the answer I received. So it will have to suffice, my friend. Hopefully it does. Look, Stacia is laughing my ass off. I'm dying. My face is so red. I think I knew it. Peter is vomiting already. Thanks for the story, AB. Stop. All right. Who's got any questions? Market related. I'm dying over here at work. We all know what he did with the pigs. Probably stuck on his wall without tape. Uh, oh my God. Uh, Peter, you hit that on the spot with no tape. Stacia is getting sick. Ramos is saying Meta is moving after hours. Here we go. Is moving like down or up? Oh wow, up 19%? Ah, this is crap. Yeah, I hate this. I so hate this, guys. You see this crap? Their shares basically spiked because of better than expected earnings. Um, you want to get the real opinion of what really was the case. Um, the market wanted cheaper opportunity. They wanted to make some money. They used Meta for this. They shorted it down, and now they're pumping it back up. Apparently, just like the articles say, spikes better because they got better than expected. I hate this. You know why? Well, you know why, because it's going back up. Um, but it also means that at some point soon, um, you're gonna get out of nowhere. You might get that Netflix might bottom out, and then Netflix will be back up on the move again. This is one of the things like I don't like. Like I don't like this. This for this stock, I don't like it. Hopefully, it's a bull trap for everybody that's gonna jump in on this. But if Meta continues its rebound and it rebounds back up, Netflix, send me your foot pictures. Oh my god. 16. Wow, 19% still moving. 18%. Well, I mean, again, it still didn't balance out. Okay, like I said, it's most likely it could be a bull trap rather than anything. Um, because if we look at their option chain, and if we see, I guarantee you that it's very, very, very not active. So if it's not active, then the market maker has nothing to worry about. So that's why they pop up with this random BS and say that here you go. Oh yeah, much better than anticipated. Great. I know that the W brothers, the Winnick, whatever their name is, they were happy when Facebook was dropping. Now they're not happy. Who remembers Napoleon Dynamite? Like those brothers are like, gosh. Napoleon Dynamite was the champ. Okay, let's see. Reg Ramos. Um, Riven low 30s. Will this next Lordstown? Well, here's the thing. Riven is, I can tell you this, Ramos, future wise, they're going to be good. And they're a long term stock. Why? Because 60% of it, Amazon. As soon as I said Amazon, period. That's it. End of story. So future, good. Near term, God knows what really the actual evaluation of it is. I mean, this could be a really low evaluation, but don't let the measuring stick that they IPO'd with, which was when it got to the hundreds, don't let that be your measuring stick. This could easily be something where it's stabilizing, and it's trying to be in the market. I don't see it being anything close to Tesla as of yet, obviously, because Tesla is just the leader of the world in that sector, and they already have sales. Rivian don't even have one car yet, out for sale. But 60% is going to be for Amazon, basically trucks to be delivering with. So in the future, I would say maybe if again I'm not going to give financial advice here because I don't know. I'm just guessing here, Ramos. This might still be not the bottom, but if somebody's thinking about long term for this, it's a very smart play. But it's all about where to get in. Is this the bottom? If you don't know, and again I don't know, and you want to just you don't want to miss out, and you don't want to have that fear of missing out and not being able to sleep at night, then at least go in and do it in increments. Drops more, average down until average down. But if you're not thinking for long term, then you might be setting yourself up for a letdown. And I'm not saying that as in like, that's what's going to happen. Of course, again, I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. Hopefully that answers it, brother. There is like a case for both sides. There's a case for the upside. There's a case for the downside. It's just what is the true value of the company? Because at the end, it doesn't have a product as of yet. It like it showed graphs of it. Like it showed the vehicles, like what it's gonna look like, and that's the vehicle that drove Bezos into his flying uh, what looked like a dildo, to space. That that was a Rivian, and it was for commercials. So he like again, and it's a future play, and there will be it will be worth every single penny, every bit. But now it's all about, like, for your perspective, what is the best price to get in on at, and what are your expectations? Are they for long term or short term? If they're short term, then you want to know, like, hey, you don't want to probably over leverage yourself on this, even if you don't want to miss out. You still think that it might be a short term play, but you don't want to go all in and get, become a bag holder on it for a while. Put all these things in the back of your head, and when you put them together, your ultimate product, when you squeeze it out, will be a very solid plan. I'm pretty sure of it, brother. Hopefully that answers it. Peter, you got me laughing along with AB. I needed that so badly. Yeah, God knows I'm just still laughing on the inside. That story was needed indeed. You know what's crazy? I wondered, like, I asked him, I was like, does he pay you guys royalty, or like, if you send the shoes, he gets to keep the shoes forever? Like, is it just a one-time purchase, or is it like any given time he could, like, he has to pay you guys royalties like every month or something, and then with that, you guys will send him new batch of pictures, like, oh, athlete's foot this week, because he was a soccer player for Alejandro, and then for her, oh, I was standing all day today, and this is what my feet look like after. Like, do you get that kind of subscription? They were laughing at me like, no, it's not that sophisticated. We just send shoes, old shoes, and send feet pictures. I was like, you guys are so stupid. That's why you guys are not in business college. University of Business is not for you. Now I know what the next profile picture is going to be. Oh my God, Stacia. It's not gonna be something I send you or Peter. Hope I'm assuming. I'm not speaking for Peter, but for me, I'm not sending you no foot picture. And if you put your own, why would you advertise it for free? Apparently, there's people out there that will pay an arm and a leg for it. Literally. Um, Peter is like, not Pete. Ramos said a bagger for a while and a few more stocks. Hmm. Okay. That might be cool. That might be cool, brother. I don't know. Whatever you think is best. I just wanted to give you, like just put out the options or possibilities out there, and if you put them together, see what the ultimate um, result comes out to be for you. You make the decision at the end of the day. Only for a day. Yeah, you know how many crazies you're gonna get. Mrs. Tahiti, how are you, my friend? Long time. And yes, I know that you're been extremely busy, And I'm very, very happy to see you in here for sure. And good to hear from you. I'm not repeating that comment. Stacia, I am not repeating that word. There's another magic word. Oh my God. I'm loving the new pic, Stacia. So pretty. Yeah. Thank you. AB's cracking me up. No, I'm not. Ask Peter. He knows what's up. Peter is the one. Hey, Dana is back in the house. Dana, you missed the foot story. And we had some good questions, and Ramos and who else had a good Ramos, Peter, and who else was in here? And Gil had really cool questions. Making dinner back from the gym. AB still alive. For now, I am. Yes, brother. But soon, I will go. Redwan, what's up, brother? How are you? Welcome into the chat. Your iftar looked serious, bro. I'm surprised you managed to stay awake. Yeah, it's killing me, man. Like these allergy season and the spring. It's only in the Midwest. Like whenever I'm in Florida or in California or whatever else, I don't get this. This doesn't happen. It's just Ohio sucks when it comes to weather. It literally sucks. Every bit of it sucks. But yeah. So let's see, where is Meta? Meta stock, Facebook. Where is it squeezing to? I'm gonna post another picture of um, the meal we're making tonight as well. You guys want to see it? Yeah, Pokes. What are you making for dinner? Oh, it's still holding that 18%, 19%. That's a lot, man. If this holds until tomorrow, if whoever, let me guess, whoever, some random institutional investor um, played crazy options like at 3:59, I guarantee you, 3:59 and 55 seconds. That's how they always do it. And clearly they knew this was going to happen. And they loaded major options with just as of now, a 32, $33 spike. A lot of money. Money, 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 money. Money. Okay, so Mrs. Tahiti, so been put for a few days. What's going on? Anything spectacular going on with AMC? There is a few things, Mrs. Tahiti. A new theory that popped up as far as a time frame that could possibly be a MOAS time frame that the community have adopted, which is around the last week of May and first week of June. There is that. There is I don't think everything else is the same still. Yeah, the NSCC regulation, which for a few days was a problem, and for the community, many people and some people were spreading FUD that it's a MOAS killer and all that stuff. So we at least have overstepped that territory. Thanks to God. Um, yeah, but besides that, you didn't miss much. Foot stories. Oh my God. Um, and you will see in this, I would say in the middle of this chat, I need to start doing like call to action, and that way, like I could have, or like timestamps, so that I can have like times where it is. I just need to know how to do it and all this stuff. I'll start doing it on live chat so people can go and like, just go to that instead of having to read the whole thing or listen to the whole thing. But yeah, nothing much other than that. And again, it's not that these things are 100% like that's true. These are all theories, as I mentioned. And they're more likely not to be than to be. What's more bullish is that the beginning of May, directly after that May 4th Fed meeting, that's a more bullish time frame for me, honestly, I think. Because no matter what, you'll always have to deal with some options. Even if the people that didn't play options at the last few weeks of May, because I know one of those theories were made to the fact that there are empty books at the end of May, and even though they could, be filled at the last moment, like a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance, that could still be the case where, like, how does that prevent all the people that bought options for June and July and August and September? Those are still there. This will still have to, like, so if the squeeze happens in the last week of May and first week of June, those other calls, like, those don't go nowhere. Those would be in the money, and they'll be deep in the money because they are still away from the expiration date. So either way you cut it, options. The only way that I could see this being a thing is where they get this done and like in early May, so that it can be over with by the end of May, so that the fear of missing out crowd can jump in and buy the last 2 weeks or the last week of May or first week of June. Holy crap. You know what? That makes sense. Think of it like this, guys. They know no matter what, options are 24/7. Like there's always someone who's playing options, and there's always that someone who's playing an option that's like a year out or 2 years out. Okay, so they can't do nothing about that guy. The only thing they can do for that guy is to bankrupt the company. Since that's not going to happen, they will have to come to terms with that person. Are we following up? If this happens early May, mid-May, the closest stocks or closest expiration dates will be those empty weeks on of May and early June, first week of June, last week of May, which would mean that the people who are on the outside that are want to jump in and play contracts and options, they will have to jump in, but the closest thing that will be available will be the first week of May, last week of May and the first week of June, knowing that I think by then the squeeze will be over. So when the fear for missing out crowd, again, bear with me, guys. When the crowd that is trying to jump in and do contracts and options, while they jump in and play the nearest option expiration because they're confirmed that this is squeeze, they're in the middle of the squeeze. One, the squeeze, like the options are going to be extremely expensive because the price is going to be higher. That's why the fear for missing out crowd is going to jump in, right? And I'm assuming right now we're talking about third week of May that we're talking, or second week or third week of May. Second week of May is more likely, which is directly after that May 4th week. So May, whatever that may be, May 12th or May 11th, from that timeline. I mean, again, this is hypothetical here. I'm not naming dates, guys, but look how this really, really, really is way more bullish and makes way more sense than any other theories, but it dances around the same timeline. And it could explain why an empty options chain. Because one, you deal with these people, now you got this open. All the people that are on the outside, when they know that this is, oh yeah, we are squeezing, let's go and play options. There's only those two that are open. Last week, May, that's mostly empty. And first week of June. And they also don't allow the TCP accounts to remove money and get money out, so they can't participate in something like that. And that's when ultimately, anyways, most of the other stocks are going to be crashed. So they lose their investments in that. They're not invested in AMC or GameStop, so, but they lose on their other stuff because, again, most people got them controlling it for them. So they're screwed. And the market maker gets to obliterate a lot of people on the options chain at the last week or the first week of June, because the squeeze by then would be on its dying leg, and whoever is going in to buy options, they're going to be buying options at like ludicrous prices with ludicrous premiums. I don't know. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's yes, it's too much reading into it, but that makes more sense to me than the fact that it's all open, waiting for people to fill it in, so that we can obliterate the market maker on those dates. I could see it more of being of a fish trap or like a trap than a boxing bag that the market maker makes out of himself, so that we can just give him punches and screw him over. There's a lot of to read into this, but again, this was creative thinking, guys. Right now, part of the AB life. Let me continue going. Don't, again, not financial advice. Don't read too much into it, guys. Just trying to break things down. So been put for a few days. Okay, I read that. Hedge funds. I know I look like I haven't slept because I really didn't sleep. I only slept for like 1 hour or 2 hours. No, not even 2 hours. The allergies woke me back up. Making some stir fry. Yummy. I'll take some, but no pork for me, please. Look, Stacia, you can't have mine. That's my stir fry. My precious. Who can make that sound the best? I know none of you can make the sound on here. But the Lord of the Rings, that creature. When I don't have allergies, I can get it very close to that sound. Melvin news. Well, I know one thing. Okay, so it's for sure the money is lost. He sent the letter telling all his previous or all his co-investors that he lost their money and he made a mistake and he's sorry. Now I don't know how cool they are about stuff like that, but if it was me, I'm not gonna take none of that as an apology or be okay with it. Oh well, at least he feels like he's sorry. Let's not be hard on the guy. It's okay. He is great. At the end of the day, he made a mistake. He had great intentions. Like, that's not gonna be me. If I'm one of those people and I lost millions, and I get a letter saying I'm sorry, I overlooked the risk because I was looking at the reward, and you're supposed to be like, I'm putting millions with you and billions of dollars are with you because you're supposed to be the master. I'm not giving them to AB investments. I'm giving them to you. Golovkin, whatever his name is, and you come back and you send me this shit letter. Sorry for the S word again. That for sure happened. Now, as far as them reopening July 1st, the second hedge fund being downsized, that I can't validate 100%. I know that was in the works, Mrs. Tahiti. I can't validate. They could resend that idea, because again, I just don't know who would, besides Citadel, would give him money. Because here's the thing, Citadel most likely, remember back, like the OGs in this channel, remember months ago when we were talking in here, and I was always hinting to there's a sacrificial lamb, like, somebody's being buttered up to be an scapegoat and a sacrificial lamb for this whole thing, and it looks like it's the Melvin guy. And guess what? It looks like it's the Melvin guy, guys. This was months ago. You could go back into the older streams and you can see it. Call me out on it. And if the deal was, I'm pretty sure that they would take the short positions of Citadel, most likely. Again, I can't prove this, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. Again, opinion matter. They swapped the short position. That's something that they can do. Companies can do that. So they swapped that, and in the deal, they vanquish. Melvin vanquish, because Citadel just they can't really have it to vanquish. You're talking about so many buildings falling down with it, even though there's no such thing as too big to fail. Too big to fail is fine, but Citadel too big to fail is kind of like the end of the US as we know it, in a way. So that's why they had to get it out of harm's way. But yeah, they can get someone like Melvin to get screwed over, and then they'll start reopen again with, as I said, a $5 billion reevaluation. And yes, it could be someone like Citadel, Susquehanna, these kind of companies will put back in there, because again, they might have all switched and took, once there's a dead dead figure, might as well take advantage of it. There is already a bus heading to the city, and it's the last bus heading to the city. You might as well fit as many people as you can. If you get what I mean here, guys. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be that's how I see it working out, personally speaking. Pantheon shares the same thing. He actually said the same thing. I don't know, maybe a little bit different here and there, but this is just the way I see it. That they took on. I've been, you guys have heard me say this for months. That they took a position from someone else, and it looks like they've been buttering up someone to be this sacrificial lamb, and that sacrificial lamb is looking like it's gonna be him, the Melvin guy, and yeah, it became him. Now the only thing that's left is to see the fireworks. Are we invited to the meal, to the big fiasco? That's what we're waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. Breeze, hey, how's it going? Debunked it. 003. You got it. What about Bill Hank? Bill Hank, he's gonna Hank. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be silly. He's also one of the people, obviously. You look at the great timing of all this. He's definitely like gonna get his own, like it's not just gonna be one thing, but it's just the biggest one is gonna be like a bunch of these. I don't know if there's any more coming out. They might have more than one lamb. I mean, there's a lot to feast. So yeah, there might be more, but Hang already paid the price back in January of 2021. Who knows if there's more? At least as far as I know, he already paid. He just now has to pay with, you know, it's always, listen, when you're a billionaire, you don't have to worry about jail time. Money comes and goes. They'll put out something that you got caught with this, so therefore, okay, you got to pay half of your fortune. They're fine. Rich people like that will pay it for their freedom. But when you see a billionaire go to jail, then trust me, that means they don't have a single dime anymore. So after January happened and Wang lost all his money, it's like, what is his value to them? He's like one of the retail traders at that point. In fact, he's the one who brought the headache onto them. So he's like, they look at him as us, as much as they hate us, plus the the shit bag he is as well. So he's the most hated person right now. No one wants to be Wang right now in the world, in the entire world. So yeah, so he right now they're trying to, like you see for Melvin's guy, he's gonna pay with losing his company. His name is gonna be tarnished, but it's gonna get back within 10, 15 years. Everything's gonna be forgotten. He's gonna get paid to take the hit, but he's not gonna do time. You know, he's fine. It's okay for him. I am assuming this is the case, guys. Assuming that this is what's happening. But Wang, yeah, he lost the money, everything, and on top of that, now it's time to serve time because he just got picked up. But you'll see the DOJ is gonna make itself look like it's always enforced and it's always protecting the retail investor. You know, DOJ to the rescue. See lack of sleep, what it does to you? It makes you silly like this. And that's the crazy part is that, yeah, the DOJ is gonna do its part on him. They're gonna get all artificial on him. They're gonna use all the amendments and everything. And Wang is not gonna see light anytime soon. That's my prediction. I know I don't wish the craziest up on anyone, but again, when their objective was to take from me and mine and from you guys, because you guys are officially mine, you guys are within that mine bracket or category, then I don't give two craps what they do to you, what happens to you. Because if you can overlook the fact that you're gonna take from somebody else to take for your own personal pleasure, so you can have hotels and private yacht parties and stuff like that, and private jets, then I don't give two craps at that point. And you're talking, and look who's talking, the person who has such like literally a huge heart, and I could turn it into something filled with, like, I could fill it with the opposite, with so much hate toward you, if you're that person that did that. Because these people, individuals, I don't have any remorse for them or in any manner, because they learned and climbed ladders in their own personal lives and enjoy luxuries on the backs and the expense of so many people that, who knows, could easily just have 50 shares or 100 shares, take from the American people, and then, you know, this is the 1%. They're not just in America, they're everywhere else in the globe, throughout the globe. So when these guys get screwed up or caught up, hey, I'm not gonna say I'm excited or I'm all for it, but I don't lose any sleep for it, and I don't care one single bit. The more exotic the punishment, the better it is. That's how I think. God knows what these guys are doing on the sidelines besides just stealing money and taking away people's dreams. It's good to be home with my friends. Well, it's good to be with our sister, with our friend. It's good for you to be home. Welcome back. Pabloco, welcome, brother. Been listening in. I still wonder if we are getting a leg up or the MOAS. Well, like I told you, Pabloco, the way that I personally verify that is by seeing, you remember the two levels? One, either one monster session that's 60, 70, perhaps 80% up in one session, or two straight sessions of 30% plus move to the upside. And that will verify to me that that's not a controlled action. That's not something that can be brought back down by a Friday so that the market maker can make his premiums on his options. You see what I'm saying? And that's not even that much. Still, even a buy zone, a load zone. Why? Because look at AMC right now at 15 bucks, almost 16, but we'll say 15 bucks. What's 16? What's 60%? If it's two sessions back to back, or one session that's 60% to the upside, out of 15 bucks, 60% of that. What is 60% of 15 bucks? 7.8. Yeah. No, more. Yeah, it's about 7.9, something like that. So we're talking about a rise of seven, almost $8. Not $8, but almost $8. 15 plus 8 at $23. Look how little it is. It's still very cheap, right? But when you see the percentage, 60%, that is huge as far as a move. And that can't be brought down to go under, like in one session or two trading sessions, normally back down like 20% down, 30% down, or 40% down, and like 20% down. It just doesn't work that way. They would need to spend like unbelievable amounts of money, and money that does not even exist to be able to do it. And the synthetics have nothing to do with it too at that point. Yeah, that's again, that's how you gauge if it's a leg up or if it's a squeeze. If it's not that, again, not financial advice, but this is what I used always, and that's why I don't fall for this hype stuff and then get let down at the end of the week. It's you see it. We need the two, like I need, oh, that's my percentages. I need two 30% plus sessions, or one monstrous session where there's 60% or higher, to confirm that we are in squeeze territory now, and we're most likely going to be jumping into a gamma, because after the gamma is forced, and I explained that a little bit in the earlier parts of this chat, brother. And when the gamma is on and we go right off that ramp, then that's it. It's a squeeze play after that point, because there's no way you can control that madness afterwards. Have a good one, AB. You too, folks. Enjoy your dinner. So what am I hearing is I'll be rich. So what I'm hearing is I'll be rich by the end of June. I pray to the Most High, Dana, for that to happen, for your sake and mine as well. In fact, why not the end of May? um, I'm gonna write a letter to the IRS and tell them I'm sorry. It's too late to apologize. Heard none of this yet. Just saw a headline about Melvin. Ah, well, welcome back, Miss Stady. Who is Bill Huang? Sorry, hedge fund gut. Yeah, he was. I don't know if they explained to you down in the bottom, but he's that ex hedge fund manager of Archegos. Oh shit! Sorry for the S word, but apparently the hot girls are back. Uh-oh. Bye bye, hot girls. What are you doing? I told you I don't like hot girls. I like the hot girls who are hot, but they don't have to announce it. Leave me alone. Hi, AB. Do you think AMC or SPY will dump hard more before running up? Honestly, I did on that video I made yesterday, Breeze. I see AMC possibly touching its support anywhere from now till May 4th. Um, I might see it hit 13, and what was it? It was 1357 was our first level of support. If we dropped from, you know, where we at today, 15 something, our next real level of support, like, you know, there's obviously some levels in between, but the real level of support is going to be 1357. And if we break that to the downside, then 1217 will be our next major support. And then the last and most important level of support will be 881. Again, I don't see the last two, the 881 and the 1217. If even we see one of those, it will be 1357. I'll be really surprised. I'll just put it that way. I'll be really surprised if we see 1217 or lower. And it will be the craziest thing I've ever seen if we see 881 again or less. Like that's my order basically on that. Because if we see that, you just gotta know that we are extremely close to popping off. Like, and I say popping off as in like ridiculously popping off. Like I even said in the video, like where at least on a chart level, like what do I see? But I think that we're gonna fly out of that zone. Like there won't be no there will be no charting for those plays for AMC or GameStop when it goes. So we'll see. It all depends on also what happens on the 4th. So whatever they announce, whether it's can kicking down the road, whether it's whether they execute what they really say they're gonna do, they're gonna hike the rates 50 points and start unloading their assets at the end of the month of May, then yes, which it looks really likely, guys. If that happens, then I am so pumped for the theory I was just talking about right now. If you guys were in, if all of you who's watching right now were in here, remember when I was talking about the possibility of options of why and when time frame and stuff like that. If they announce what I expect them to announce, then I am the most bullish on that idea that I was just talking about a little bit ago. You guys know the idea. What happened? Did the hot girls steal all you guys? Let's see. Okay. So, since there are no more questions, if I'll go ahead and give you guys another, um, 10, 15 seconds, something like that. See if there's any questions, guys. Please go for it. Don't worry. If not, I will prepare so I can go ahead and do my evening prayer. Then I go return something to Amazon. Oh, I hate it. They sent me a webcam that you guys remember I was supposed to use with you guys. Yeah, that didn't sound right. But no, like to report to you guys from, so I can stop using my phone while I'm doing it. But the webcam was so laggy the whole time. It wasn't like in real time. Like I would be speaking and then it would be like 2-3 seconds late, and I couldn't. I hated it, so I wanted to return it. But now it's been like 2-3 weeks that I had the returning queue for it, but I just never went back to do it. I just been super busy with with everything else. General question, AB. Am I correct in saying that using stop losses and are not good because hedge funds see people's stop losses and drop the prices below the stop loss to get everyone out? Well, here's the thing. It is true to an extent, but you got to remember, it's not only one person in the whole market. There's many institutes. I know a lot of creators are saying stuff like that, or like pushing that narrative or idea out. But at the end of the day, what is going to be like if it falls, like let's say something is at $100 and you're in it and your stop loss is at $80. Let's say you had two different brokerage accounts. On one of them, you put the stop loss at $50, and the other one you didn't put one. You didn't bother putting one. You're just like, no, I don't want to. I believe that the hedge funds are going to take my money, and they're going to drop it on purpose just to get me out, and then go up. And then the stock drops literally to $10 or $20 or $0. The one that you had on one of the brokerage accounts that you had the stop loss at 50 bucks. At least that one got you $50 out of your $80 investment. The other one just got lost completely and vanquished. Which one, like, what are words going to benefit you at that point? They're not, so when the creators tell you, like YouTube influencers say stuff and push agendas as in saying this and this and that, just remember, it's easy to think of that idea because there are people out there that just think that they're the only ones on the market. Everyone has a different stop loss. So hedge funds, yeah, if they will look to try to get out of, or like cash out majority, and that's the market via the market maker or the hedge funds that are trying to get people to lose out or dip it under a certain price. They're going to look for the majority. Where are they? And they try to go there. And if you already factored that in, you'd already know, if most people have bought shares, you would know what they around what price is the median. But here's the crazy part: is if you're asking that question to utilize it around AMC, then you have to remember that there will be violent drops and there will be violent rips throughout the process. So it's not going to be an easy stroll through the park. I know that you might be like, some people might be thinking like, hey, once this thing breaks like the 2,000 or the $800 level, I'm gonna just put a stop loss there, and I'll wait for it to see how high it goes, and if it dumps down, I'm okay with $800. It's not. I mean, that's cool and all, but it's not as easy as that, because you don't know, first of all, if it ever will reach 800 from the get-go, right? So the most important thing is, first, get a plan, like strategize yourself, see what's happening as it's happening, and get your, again, not financial advice, brother, but don't be afraid to collect your profits along the way. Just don't. Again, this is just a personal advice to you, so that you're not bag holding at the end of this, after all this time. That's just literally what I would say to all of you guys, not just one person. But yeah, stop loss. I love stop loss. I do it so much that they might name it AB stop loss, because again, no one is gonna come to you to wipe away your tears after you lose all your money in a trade. You have to have restrictions, and the way that you have that is by percentages. By the time you react, if you have a plan, then it can't be a plan without a stop loss. Because like I said, I have a 20% rule. I'm not gonna sit there and wait. Oh, okay, it's at 20%. Now I gotta sell my position because it's gonna die. No, it might fall in those seconds that I'm talking like that. I'm looking at the app, it could drop even further, like way more than the 20%. And by the time I catch it, it'll be, I can put a price and say sell now, and it could sell at a market order, which is the worst thing. And then now I'm putting myself in the market maker's mercy. Sell me at whatever price you find, the next best order. And that would be the furthest order away. Because again, that's how they make their money. the difference between the spread, bid, ask price. Hopefully that answers this question, brother. So yeah, there is nothing. There's no. Don't buy it too much into the idea of no stop loss or whatever. Um, I definitely, like I said, stop loss is a must, but you also have to use it kind of in a reasonable manner, to where, like, if we're gonna use an example as AMC, think of AMC. AMC at $15, there's pointless to put in stop loss at 12, or 10. Again, I'm not giving financial advice here. I'm not insinuating what you should do and what you shouldn't do. But, the idea of being in AMC is for that squeeze. So why put a stop loss right here when we're expecting, the up and up? At the end of the day, you got to protect you and your loved ones, because when all that goes and all the ice melts, no YouTuber, and for that matter, brother, even if you come, even like no matter who you go to, they're gonna say, "Oh man, you should have got out when you had the chance," and you're gonna start saying, "Well, I wanted to put a stop loss, but somebody once upon a time told me don't put a stop loss. This such and such creator said don't put a stop loss." Well, yeah, man. Well, at least you learned from it. That's all you're gonna get. And that stuff does not put food on the table, and that stuff does not make you feel better. That's only gonna make you feel worse. So always remember, be safe, rather safe than sorry. I don't care what the world thinks, but as long as you're safe, it's much better than being sorry. And keep obviously your business to yourself, brother, and all of you guys. You know, like, who cares? I could say this right now, and then you guys could say like, yeah, I'm never gonna do a stop loss, and then you can go, and when it's time, you could do a stop loss, and no one would know. Like, at the end of the day, it's all your business. Unless you share it and you bring it out, no one is gonna know. Okay, guys. So, oh, great answer, Habibi. Thank you, Habibi, brother. Alhamdulillah, it was good. Well, my beloved family, once again, thank you all for attending the surprising 3.5 hour stream that I thought was only going to be an hour at most. But as always, time with you guys is priceless, and it literally is, so it flies by and you don't even feel it. But yet, I gotta go do my prayers. I gotta go return stuff to Amazon and pray. Well, I said, but pray. Finalize whatever I need to make for the food, and then later on I'll post a picture of what is the family feasting on tonight. Hopefully I'm not offending anyone or making anyone upset. And my beloved family, once again, much love, AB Investments.